Yes, guys, and welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV for the post-match fan show where Spurs drew 0-0 with Brentford at the Brentford Community Stadium. Not the result any one of us wanted. Look, before we get into it, get guests on and see what people are saying in the chat. Danny, I mean, what's your thoughts quickly on the game?
Yeah, as I was saying in the studio, like it was again the same as Brighton. To be honest with you, we just showed no desire. We didn't show like we wanted it. We were static again. There was no movement. We were playing quite deep a lot of the time as well. And I think there was so much space in the midfield. Funny enough, like against Brighton, we were restricted with space, but in this game we had so much space and we didn't utilize it. And every time Kulu, Kane, or Son were trying to break on an attack, there was like 2 or 3 players around them, and there was no Tottenham players around them, so they couldn't do anything, and they just kept losing the ball all the time, or it was just again a lackluster performance. And it worries me, man, because I did kind of say my head was saying it's going to be a draw, and it was. And I don't want to say these things, but at the moment it looks like we're not gonna get this top 4 position because Arsenal are starting to hit form again, even though they're playing not great, and the teams they played are playing shit. We're playing. I mean, that showed that we're just not up to it, and we're bottling it once again.
Yeah, and look for me, Danny. I know a lot of people are probably going to speak about Conte and the tactics and Harry Kane and that.
Of course.
Look, for me, it's the same formation, it's the same tactics that got us when we were chasing. Yep. Now, the only difference that has been over the last 2 weeks is the fact that we weren't chasing, we were in pole position.
Yep.
And I think that has got to these players. I think we're now playing scared rather than being proactive. And what I mean by proactive is you look at the first half today, in possession and out of possession. We were scared to make mistakes. We didn't do anything to go and win the ball back. And it's us that's looking for Champions League.
Yep.
Not Brentford. They're happy to pass it around the back and be not pressed. They're happy to watch us pass it around the back and not put them under the pressure. The onus was on us today to go and get that result. Off the ball and on the ball. And then all of a sudden, they got a bollocking at half-time and we've seen a complete different Tottenham team in the second half, albeit too late and not creative enough. But it was better in the second half. But the difference is the players' attitude for me. Yep. That was my difference there, was the players' attitude. How they went about in the first half compared to how they went about in the second half. And for me, it's not good enough. And I know a lot of people are going to question Harry Kane. But another thing I'm going to say, and look, people are more than welcome to disagree with me and come on and disagree with me. I'll hear everybody out. This is what this is all about. But a lot of people are going to blame Harry Kane. Oh, Harry Kane didn't show up today. Correct. He didn't show up today.
He saved us.
Last week. No, 1 second. Sorry, Danny. He didn't show up last week against Brighton. But I asked the question today in my pre-match build-up. If we can't get Kane into the game, how are Son and Kulu going to get into the game? How are they going to who else is going to step up if Kane doesn't come in? Kane is, when we've been handing out these hidings, Kane has either been the one to start the moves or get the assist for the goal in a lot of them. And since he's been taken out, we've created absolutely nothing and went 2 games without any shots on target. Other players around this guy have to step up as well. Every world-class player has an off day or a couple of off days. But the difference between, say, us and a Chelsea or a Liverpool or a City is that other players chip in. Other players chip in. We do not have that here at Tottenham Hotspur. It's just a shambles. Look, if you want to put a positive from the game, is we didn't lose it like we did to Brighton last week. That's the only positive that you could probably take from this, to be honest with you. I was really expecting a performance there. I was really expecting them to bounce back from what happened against Brighton. And look, we all knew it was going to be a tough game. And that it was going to be similar to the Brighton game. That, the back line's not going to be pushed up too high. They're going to sit on the edge of their own box and break us down. But then when we did try, we got the balls out wide. The crosses were poor. Low standard, absolutely woeful. No one wants to take a shot from outside the box. Nobody. The game was screaming out for it. Test the keeper from distance. Get it on target. It was just a shambles all around. All around. But look, we'll see. Big up, Anik. Good to see you. New channel member. Hopefully you get to come on and have your say, brother. Do come on and have your say. A lot of angry Spurs fans out there today. Come on for the therapy. Me and Danny will get you through it. Get whatever it is off on your chest. We're not going to challenge you. We're just going to let you have your say. That's what it's about. Well, I might challenge you. We'll wait and see. We've got Powder TCG, new channel member as well. Big yourself up. Like we said to Anik, do come on and have your say with us. But look, Danny, I suppose we won't keep them waiting any longer. We will start getting on the people to see who is there. Assam was here first. Assam, if you're there, turn on your camera. If not, yeah, he's there. He doesn't want to be skipped. So let's get him on. Assam, how are you keeping, man?
It was a tough 90 minutes to watch, that's for sure. I don't even know where to start. I think from the tactics to the players, I think everything went wrong. I think I'll start off with Conte, and it's true. When we were winning, we were playing the same formation, but that in itself is the problem. We're playing the same formation. I know, everyone knows what players are going to play, what formation, what tactics. Kane's going to drop deep. Son and Krul are going to run into space. So all you got to do is mark Kane. And that's what's happened in the last two games. Against Brighton, it was Basuma who was on Kane, so he couldn't drop deep. I don't know the name of who's marking Kane today, but again, someone was on Kane, so he couldn't drop deep. Now, if he can't drop deep, who's going to create for Son and Krul? It's not going to be the wing-backs because they can't play football.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we haven't had any shots on target. It's simple as that.
100%.
Just one more thing. And for Conte, look, he's done wonders for us with mentality, with where we are when he came in. But to bring on Sanchez instead of Lucas Moura or Bergwijn to get a goal, I mean, like, we have Reguilon. If you want to replace Sessegnon, I don't understand why he didn't bring Moura. He brought Moura on the 80th minute. I mean, what's the man going to do? So, I mean, that, and then, there's so much wrong with today, and we're lucky to get a point.
Just to defend Conte a little, I mean, look, I can get the arguments about bringing on a Lucas. Bringing on Bergwijn. He's had an impact since the Leicester game off the bench. But Lucas hasn't had any impact since he's come on over the last while, not whatsoever. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I don't blame him for not bringing him on first, because what has he done when he has brought him on? He hasn't took them opportunities. At the end of the day, as much as we want the manager to give these players opportunities, there's also an element where they have to earn these opportunities. And when they're given these opportunities, they have to take them, which they haven't. But look, speaking on the tactics, I mean, look, the way I see it, and I could be completely wrong, and if I am, but the way I see it, look, he's got 12 players. He's got the 11 that he starts with and Steven Bergwijn, who we know will have an impact off the bench. How much do we really expect this guy to do with 12 players?
That's true, but I mean, when you're looking at what went wrong today, we didn't create anything, right? No shots on target. Yeah. And what's the main reason for that? It's because Kane's being marked. And why is he being marked? Because there's 3 midfielders to our 2. Yeah. So if he brings Krul into a number 10 role, that adds an extra midfielder there. So now Kane's not going to be marked 100% of the time. Now maybe he can drop deep again. So now there's going to be 4 people in that midfield place. Now a centre-back will get drawn. Now a midfielder will go off. And now we have space. So 100%, he doesn't have a lot of resources to work with. But it's just tweaking the formation, even going to a 4 at the back, something, so that we have 3 midfielders, they have 3 midfielders. So it's pair marking for man marking. So then Kane can drop deep and we can create, but we didn't change anything. So that's my only issue.
Yeah.
Do you think that Conte should maybe try, or it could have changed a formation today to suit the players that we have, based on especially the last game against Brighton and how we didn't really create anything and how Kane was marked out the game? And as soon as you put, like you said, a couple of players around Kane, our team just completely loses any kind of creativity whatsoever. So I mean, do you think he should go to like a kind of old formation that we used to use under Poch, like the 4-2-3-1 kind of formation? And if he was to do that, who would you play in that front 3 and as the back 4? Because we know the 2 midfielders are going to be Bentancur and Romero. So who would you play? Like, you think that we could actually get a tune out of the current players that we have to actually do a bit better than what we're doing in the last 2 games?
Okay. We don't have any natural wing backs. We don't have any natural wing backs.
No, we don't.
Doherty was our only natural wing back and he's gone. So we have 2 fullbacks trying to be wing backs.
Yeah.
Emerson Royale, he's an average fullback. So now you're asking him to do more attacking and more defending for an average fullback. So now that's gone downhill. Sessegnon was doing well, then he got injured. Now he's come back. He's poor. Reggie was poor last game as well. So that's gone. So if you do go too far at the back, and they have more defensive roles instead of attacking roles, maybe they'll do better. We don't know.
Mm.
And then you can have, Romero, Dyer, whoever you want in the centre part. The defense is not my concern. It's the fact that we've gone from scoring the most goals
Yeah.
in 2022 to having no shots on target. I mean, the amount of times I'm screaming on my laptop, pass the ball quicker, do something.
Yeah.
It was like watching Nuno. It was like
Yeah, it
watching
was.
those times where I'm just going, and these are players who have been ripping apart teams, 5-0 against Everton, 3-1 against West Ham, 4, all these goals. And I'm thinking, what's changed? And it's the fact that people are now learning, okay, how do we stop Tottenham? And that's by marking Kane. So people have figured out what to do. But if we were going to go to a 4-2-3-1, I think obviously Kane's going to be up front, and then you could have Krul as a number 10.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Who would you play? Sorry to interrupt. Who would you
No.
prefer to play as a number 10? Like, if so, the way we're playing the last two games, right? You've had the two players. Look, you've had Kane, obviously, and even today, right? You saw it. Like, there was like 2 to 3 Brentford players around our front three every time they were in attacking positions, and they couldn't do anything. Now, if you bring in someone like a Lucas Moura, for example, in that central attacking midfield role, do you think that might be better than having Kulu there, and you still play Kulu on the right, but you bring in Moura because he's such a quick little nimble player in the middle, which is where I think a lot of Tottenham fans would probably agree that that's his best position, that it might actually draw players to him to try and stop him, which then allows Kane and Kulu and Son to have a bit more space. Do you not think that would work better than having Kulu in the centre attacking mid, or who would you think would be better in that position?
I get what you're saying, because that makes a lot of sense. But personally, I just think Mora's first touch, I don't know, it's sometimes it just pings off his foot. And when I'm guessing if he was going to play as a number 10, they're going to be zinging passes in from the midfield at his feet. He's going to turn and run. Now, if he gets the ball and it zings off to another player in the opposition team, it's gone. I think Kulu just has that composure. He's a bit more good technically. And he doesn't have the pace, but he makes up creativity for that lack of pace. And I think if you have him centrally, you can have Moura or Bergwijn on the right, Sonny on the left, and Kane up front. So now Kane can just be a striker. He doesn't have to worry about dropping deep and getting manhandled by 4 or 5 different players. And I think that's something to do. But we have five games left. I don't know if Conte's practiced that formation in training, because if he had, surely he would have. Because he's not an idiot, Conte. He's won everywhere he's gone. He's not a bad manager. He's a great manager. So he can see, if we can see that what's not working, he can see, okay, cool, they're marking Kane, I can switch to this. But whether he doesn't want to because 3-4-3 is his way, whether he doesn't trust the players to go like that, we will never know. But a 3-5-2 is not that different to a 3-4-3. It's just bringing one person in attack to behind. It's not a big tactical shift, which I think would have helped us a lot today. And I'm surprised he didn't change at all.
I think the reason why you don't see some of these other players, and you've hit the nail on the head, it comes down to trust. But he's right not to trust them.
Yeah.
We've seen that from Pochettino to Jose Mourinho to Nuno. Under Mason, we've put Lucas Moura in the middle. Did we get Champions League football? No, we didn't. The whole thing is that we need to improve on these players. We can't just keep look. We've been talking the same thing about managers and about tactics and about positions for 2.5 bloody years now. I'm fed up with it. I'm absolutely fed up with it. We just need to realize that yes, some of these players have improved a bit under Conte, but they're just still not good enough. They will still let you down from time to time. Yeah. And we need to improve on them. We shouldn't have to be sitting here every time. Lucas Moura in earlier, Lucas Moura playing in the middle, bringing on the so-and-so, hoping that we get the best out of them, changing the tactics. We should not have to be talking like this. Liverpool played it one way. Man City played it one way. And no matter who they bring out, they put players in and it's not a drop-off and they can keep playing that way. And that's the sort of ilk that Conte is as a manager. He's been at top clubs. He's had all the players disposed to him so he can play his way. But sometime at Tottenham Hotspur, we have to sit here and go a manager's way. Instead of sitting there asking to change tactics and do this and do that, some manager has to come in here at some point. And we have to do it his way to be able to build the foundations and start improving on some of these players. Because what will end up happening is we'll end up sacking Conte because of tactics or this or that and the other. And we're going to go through the exact same cycle yet again. Yet again, I'm fed up with it at this club. Fed up with it.
Do you know what? Do you know what, Dave? It's the issue is we have to think about the next 5 games, not about the issues we've had. I know we all know like we've had these issues in the last like couple of years, but we now have to look at the 5 games like we've drawn today, and we were lucky to draw, to be honest. So we have to, yeah, exactly. We should have, and we should have lost against. We deserve to lose against Brighton because we didn't deserve to win. And we have to look at now the next 5 games and what can we think that he could do, or the question really is do we actually believe Conte is going to do anything differently? Because my opinion, I was saying to Sean on the show today that I don't think, yeah, exactly, I don't think he's not. He's not going to. So then
you're not going to do it 5 games left of the season, let alone if you're halfway through. I mean, he's not going to switch to a 4 at the back. That's not going to happen. No. Whether he goes to a 3-5-2, because 3-5-2 still uses the wing back, still has 3 at the back, it's still similar to his formation. Whether he does that, I'm not sure, but knowing what how Conte is going about, how he is as a manager, I think he'll stick with the 3-4-3 and just hope it comes off.
Yeah, I think he's no option but to stick with the 3-4-3. Look, it's clear he doesn't trust Harry Winks. Bentancur wasn't even fit last week, carrying a knock, and he still played him ahead of Harry Winks. He's not going to switch to a 3 midfield and bring in Harry Winks when he doesn't trust him. Forget about what he says in the papers. He has to do that just in case Bentancur and Højbjerg gets injured, and he has to give Harry Winks a run of games because there's nobody else. That's why he says it. You mark my bottom dollar, he'll be out of this club in the summer. He's going.
He's going.
We can't switch to a 3 midfield. We can't.
But then,
we have no option
what's wrong with having Krul as a number 10 for a third person in midfield? Because I've seen interviews of him and what he's preferred, and his preferred role, or what he said his preferred role, is behind the front line or as a number 10. And you've seen that. That's why he's not. Luke is more rapid. He's not Bergwijn. He's not as quick as those two because he's not a natural winger. He's a number 10 who can play, as a winger or as a forward. So that's something, and Conte says as well, he can play as a number 9, he can play as a number 10, all that. And on trust, and because we've covered it, he doesn't trust a lot of players. I don't know whether it's an attitude problem or not, but how is Bergwijn not got, how did Moura come on before Bergwijn? I don't care when Bergwijn comes on, that's whatever happens. But how did he not come on at all? That man scored twice the amount of goals in cameos that Moura has done starting.
Yeah.
Exaggeration, but you know what I mean.
No, that's
and
true.
How he hasn't been even looked at.
Yeah.
And if I was Bergwijn, I'd be wanting out.
I think he's going to leave.
Yeah, no matter how strong your mentality is, it's like, okay, what do I have to do to start? Okay, you're a forward, score goals. Okay, I'll score goals. Now what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
What can he do? I mean, he's been as respectful as possible.
He must have slept with Conte's daughter or something like that, because sometimes it's like he brings him on for 2 minutes at the end just to say he brought him on. I don't know what is going on with there. If I did have any criticism of Conte, that would definitely be it. If you look back over who's had an impact off the bench, which he should know anyway, and with all the stats that people that are in around the game now, somebody should be telling it to him. But even as a manager, you should see it yourself.
You can see it.
Yeah. But look, my man, we do have a load of people that want to come on after saying the queue's only building and building. So what I want to know before we let you go, great call in, by the way.
Yeah, brilliant.
Is top 4 done for you, or do you still believe?
The thing is, 2 weeks ago, we're saying, we're in the running seat. Arsenal's screwed. Oh, they've got Chelsea, they've got United, they've got West Ham, we've got Brighton. All these teams got look at us and go. We've now got 1 point from 2, and they've got 6 points from 2. Now, next week, they may lose to West Ham somehow, and we may pull off a massive win at Leicester. Honestly, I have a very sneaky suspicion that we can win at Anfield, just because we're Tottenham. We're going to do something stupid against Leicester and then pull off some random shit against Liverpool. Is top 4 over? You can't, with the 2 shit shows that are going for top 4, you can never say it's over until that final thing happens. So I'm gonna say it's not over because of course I want us to play in Champions League, but if you keep playing like that, it's going to be increasingly difficult.
Yeah,
spot on.
Yeah, 100%. Well, look, my man, thank you very much for coming on. It sounded
No
great.
worries.
And look, we'll see you again soon. I always see you on these shows. We'll see you again next week.
Yeah. Okay, come on, Spurs.
See ya, son. Keep the head up, my man. Absolutely brilliant calling, Danny, wasn't it?
Oh, brilliant call. It was really well spoken. I love what he was saying. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it was. It was. But look, we'll get on the next guest. The next guest we have is Ryan. Don't worry, everybody in the background. I am putting it in the chat, the order, so everyone knows. But look, we will get on Ryan now. Ryan,
Hey,
Hey guys,
how
I'm
you doing,
gonna
Ryan?
be a meme, be a meme. I'm gonna be a meme. 2 weeks ago, obviously after Villa, I went saying, "Yep, top four's done. Yep, it's now out of our hands again."
yeah,
We can just see it in all the Arsenal Twitter pages and
Oh,
everywhere.
God.
I'm gonna be a meme, so at least I'm getting somewhere, I guess. I've made progress in terms of making it on YouTube or a Twitter. Since it's more progress than any of the players made going forward today.
exactly. But look, where did it all go wrong today? You know, why are we struggling to break down teams like Brighton and Brentford?
For a start, you just have to look at the ownership. It's all on the ownership. There is nothing else to it. The players aren't good enough. We know that. Imis Royale should never ever wear a Spurs shirt again.
God.
He is absolute dog shit. Get
Said the
that
same thing today, Ryan.
wanker out the club. He is dog shit. There was a pass in the second half. I'm not sure if you remember. Probably about 70 minutes play. Just put it straight out of play. When you're a kid, it was across our 18-yard box as well. You get taught as a kid, don't play across your own 18-yard box because you're gonna get. He only does it and puts it out of play. Twat, not good enough for Spurs. Get out of the club. Okay, there's plenty of players in that starting 11. For us, Kuleveski, for me, I wouldn't have played him today. I would have started Bergwijn. I would have started Bergwijn or Mora on the right. That's just my opinion. People won't have any other. But Kulu had a poor game. The fact that Conte has no trust in Bergwijn, in Mora, and in players like this, they're not good enough. We've seen it over years. You said it before that it's been 2.5 years. It's been longer than that. It's been 4 or 5 years, guys. We've turned stale. We've sat and done fuck all for 5 years, and clubs have overtaken us and will continue to overtake us in the future because we have a bullshit owner in charge who does dog shit for the team and will only focus on making a cinema, making hotels, making money, lining his pocket, having sheep fans coming and buying in the club shop and fans not opening up their eyes and realizing what I'd say majority 40, 50, 55% of Spurs fans can see, which is the owner is the problem here. Because if the owner put the tools in place for Conte, put the tools in place for Mourinho, put the tools in place for Pochettino at the start, we wouldn't even be at Conte right now. We're looking at it quite straightforward that under this ownership, under this regime, we've had 21 years of this, and it's been a failure from start to finish, football-wise. If you want to talk about a business, how about it? I don't even want to care. I don't give a shit about that. I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan. I don't give a shit what happens other than what happens on that football pitch. It's that plain simple, okay? I couldn't give a shit how many hotels he builds, how many of this, how many of that. I couldn't give a shit what NFL teams come and play in our new stadium. I couldn't give a shit what boxing matches happen, what concerts, what this, what that. All I care about is we're playing good football and challenging. And at the moment, we haven't challenged for 5 years. And that's because Levy has not backed a single manager in the past 21 years. And ever since we've got to where we've got, he has blown it, taken the wind out, the air out the balloon and said, fuck this, let's start again. He is a cancer at this club.
Let me ask you, do you think then after everything you said that he's going to change, the Leopards will change these spots and that he might back Conte this summer, or how do you think this whole situation is going to pan out? Because there has been links over the last week with Conte going to PSG, and look, it won't only be Conte because they were rumoured to go for Paratici earlier on as well, so it could be the two of them gone. And look, the difference is with PSG, they won't have to ask for a thing. It's just like, there you go and do what you want. Whereas at Spurs, they probably have to fight for it. Do you think they're even going to stick
goes? He's not stupid. He is not stupid. He knows what this club needs. He knows if anyone goes to PSG, they're set up to fail because you're expected to win. Okay. If he gets given 200 million to spend and gets the players he wants and they don't win the Champions League, he's out the door. Okay. PSG don't have the mentality similar to us. The only problem is they've got superstars and will piss their league.
Mm.
If they don't win the Champions League, it's failure. End of story. That will never happen.
You think
Ryan,
Conte will be back this
Chance
summer?
of him walking, very good chance, because Levy won't back him because, as you said, a leopard doesn't change his spots. Okay? There's been this talk because of the fact that Pochettino is going to get sacked for not winning the Champions League. You see where I'm going with this? Okay? If Poch does come back to Spurs, it is still a downgrade. Yes, I love him to bits. Okay?
100%.
He is the best manager I've seen in my lifetime come to top. And I put him above Conte in terms of man management and about that, okay? But it's a downgrade in terms of the manager, the caliber of manager we've got in terms of what they've done in the game.
I agree.
Yeah,
Okay?
spot on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You back Conte, something can happen next season. We don't know, because I've always, I've been saying this, next season is going to be a really, really strange season because we've got a World Cup in the middle of it.
Yeah,
it's true.
So you don't know what can happen. Players
Injuries.
might not want to jump into a 50-50 tackle, stuff like that, because we've got a World Cup in a couple of months' time. So it's going to be a very strange season.
yeah.
I just find it quite ironic. Today was the final game before season. We had to renew our season tickets.
Yeah.
You really think any fans want to pay £1,000 after watching that shit?
What do you
Come on,
Ryan? What do you think about the actual game itself? Like if you're comparing it to Brighton, like how he played.
Stop Kane, stop Spurs.
Yeah.
Stop Kane, stop Spurs. Okay. Yes, what Kane needs to do now is be smarter. Okay, if people are going to get touch tight to him, you see it all the time with people. The really smart, savvy, players. They'll dig a little elbow in there to create a bit of space. Just be a little bit nasty. We don't have that nastiness. Kane doesn't have it. Okay, and if you stop Kane, we don't have any creativity because the bald-headed prick upstairs sold every bit of our creativity in the winter without replacing it.
And they're trying to replace him with the guy they sold in the first place.
Yeah. There you go. That's all you need to know.
With the squad that Conte has available to him today, though, Ryan, do you blame Conte today or do you blame the players?
Players should have stepped up today. This is not on Conte. You can ask the question whether he should have gone 4 at the back. We've seen Dyer here for 6-7 years and what he's done in the back 4. Come on now. We're calling him our best centre-back. He's protected in a back 3. He's been protected like so many other players, so many other centre-backs protected in a back 3. Okay? You put Dyer in a back 4, we're going to see tears because it's not going to go well.
So Ryan,
you saw it in Jose last year. It was just rubbish. He was the worst. We were calling for him to get out the club. He's shit.
Ryan, I want to ask you, right? So it kind of ties into what you're saying. So do you think then the reason why Conte, because a lot of fans are saying that we should change the formation, change the tactics. Do you then think then the reason is because he doesn't trust those shit players that we have? Like, because, and that's how I see it, because like if Dyer, like you said, Dyer's protected, right, by Romero and also Ben Davies, right? Ben Davies is protected by the other two. And then sometimes the wing backs help them out if they're there, right? Just as a body, right? But in terms of ability wise, if you put them in a back 2 or back 4, then it's like Romero's the only one who's gonna have to try and cover everyone's ass because they're not, Dyer's not good enough.
You look at it,
Emerson's not good enough.
Look at all the other teams, they have a stable formation, as you all said, where they have the same team, the same formation, and very rarely, Guardiola sometimes overthinks it, but then they will, for the odd game, they'll change the formation. Other than that, it's the same formation over and over and over and over again. Okay, you won't see City going to a 4-5-1 or a 3-4-3. Okay, they're set on 4-3-3. Okay, you won't see Liverpool going from a 4-3-3 to a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2 diamond. It's the same 4-3-3 over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay, we constantly chopping and changing doesn't help formations. Okay, that's what Conte's trying to bring. He's trying to bring stability. If he goes and changes to a 4-4-2, okay. Number one, for a start, we don't have a second striker of any quality. Let's be real. So, we can't play 4-4-2. Oh, you all want to talk about 3-5-2. We've only got Harry Winks. And Danny, you know how I feel about Harry Winks, how much I absolutely despise the absolute bastard.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
And having those three in a base, just a base flat three, is not going to work. There's no creativity. Okay, you bring in a third central midfielder, you're taking out one of Kane's, Son, or Kulu, so you lose even more of a goal threat.
Yeah.
I could go on and on. Okay, you go to a 4-3-3, tried that under Nuno, fails miserably because the players aren't good enough. You have to find a set formation that will suit the majority of these players, and then once you get around it, try and improve on those players. Okay, because the rest that won't fit in, like Royale won't be here next summer. Trust me on that. Winks won't be here next summer. Trust me on that. Okay. Yeah. Bergwijn won't be here next summer. Trust me on that. Lucas Moura won't be here. Trust me on that. Okay. Those four are not going to be here. Potentially, even Højbjerg won't be here. Yeah. I'm going to be a bold one. Højbjerg, since the Euros, has been diabolical. And yes, he for his standard, because he's been very, very good. He was very good in his first season. He was, in my opinion, he was our player of the year, but he's now dropped off. And I'm tired of, this player will come good. This player will come good. You've had one bad year, you get out the door. You've got to be ruthless in this game. And we're not ruthless enough as a club.
Yeah. 100%.
I agree with the ruthlessness of the club. I agree with that. But with Højbjerg, he had, since that Southampton game, when he came back after having a week off, he has been pretty decent for us. He's been pretty good. Today, he was poor, but everyone was poor. And again, he was a bit poor.
Ben Davies was our best player today.
No, Romero, I think, was. If it wasn't for Romero, we would have probably conceded a few goals today. Honestly, he was covering for, he covered for Dyer. He covered for Emerson a lot. And obviously,
Davis
Harry
and
Kane
Romero
saved us as well.
That's the thing. We're debating about our defence keeping us in the game away to Brentford.
Yeah, exactly.
Away to Brentford.
The midfielders.
No disrespect, but away to Brentford.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, right, if you saw it, Ryan, the midfielders, they were dropping so deep all the time, and not one of them was pushing forward. And it left so much space in the middle that when we did have the ball, we just couldn't do anything with it because there was no other players to help them with anything. The wing backs weren't overlapping, so they weren't going down the left of the wing to give them other players an option. They were both poor today. Sessegnon was okay in the first half, but in the first half, Emerson was just non-existent. And in the second half, every time he did get forward, he kept doing the wrong thing every single time. Yeah. When it was going back and forward, it was awful. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's a League One player at best, Emerson. But yeah, it's I mean, what do you think we can do then, Brian, to try and like push for the top four? What do you think we need to do? Conte needs to do with his tactics, or who he should play in order to try and make the most of what we've got?
Well, the only change I would make for the team-wise, the tactics, I'm trusting Conte. You just got to stick with the 3-4-3 till the end of the season. There is no point stopping the changes now. You live by the sword and you die by the sword.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd start Bergwijn or Moura over Kulu.
Yeah. Okay.
Kulu's been poor the past couple of games, and you can't just keep you got to try something different. Bergwijn, when he has come on, he has made a difference, but he's not going to be the guy that's going to win us put us where we want to be.
Yeah.
That's the issue I've got. Okay. I have much higher ceiling where I want this club to be. I want us to be challenging where we were 3-4 years ago, pushing for league titles, constantly in the Champions League. And with these players that we've got, that's not going to happen. And that's what makes me anger so much. Okay. 5 years of this crap we've had to deal with. 5 years of this ownership, 21 years, but previous 5 years are the reason why you have people like Brian Daigle who have been ENIC and Levy out for 14 years, and people have been ENIC and Levy out for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I suppose it's probably not the right time to ask this question then if we're going to end on that, Ryan. But, do you think we're going to make top four, lad?
Arsenal going to Newcastle is the biggest game of the season now. That's the only game I see them dropping points in. If they go and slip up at Newcastle, because if they slip up at Newcastle, then it's back in our hands. Okay, because I don't expect us to go to Anfield and get anything. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But if we balance out, they drop points at Newcastle, we beat Arsenal in North London Derby, it's back in our hands. it's all on that Newcastle away game. I'm not going to put anything on the line because I don't want to be another meme.
Nah, no worries. But look, Ryan, I think everybody will agree with me. I'd like to see you do a lot more YouTube, my man. Really did enjoy this call-in. So thank you
Definitely.
very much for your time. Hopefully you've got a lot off your chest and you can relax for the evening maybe and not be so angry.
Hopefully so. Okay, have a good one, guys. Enjoy.
And you, Ryan. Take
I'll
it easy,
see you,
brother.
my man. Thank you. Thank you for the
you,
call-in,
Danny.
Ryan. I'll see
Okay.
you again soon. Everybody give Ryan a lot of love in the comments. Absolutely brilliant call-in from the guy. Absolutely brilliant. I want to see more of him. I really do. But look, Danny, we better keep moving because we've got loads of guests here and we've also got a Fury and White fight tonight. So, we better keep moving along, my man.
Let's do it.
The next guest we have is Ross.
Nice
Ross, how are you keeping, my man?
Doing all right. Hello from across the pond.
Look, what's your thoughts on today's game? I mean, look, obviously, it nil all, not the result we wanted or needed.
Groundhog Day. I felt like I was watching the Brighton game, the same thing all over again. And then my other thought is Nuno ball. Is Nuno back? I half expected Conte to pull his mask off and ha, it's Nuno, I mean,
yeah.
Good Lord. It's just horrible. The same thing. I mean, can't keeping the ball at our feet too long, playing the shuffle game. Oh, let's shuffle. Oh, let's get it over here. And just not, the book on us now, take the space away. Take our space away. Crowd came. We can't do anything. And we don't seem to want to. It's like nobody wants to step up. I'm going, somebody's got to step up here. You want top four, you got to go get those points. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you think we were so reactive in the first half about going and getting that result?
I'm sorry, what was that? You cut out a second there.
Why do you think we were so reactive in the first half about going and getting that result? We were just happy to sit back in our shape, and we didn't do anywhere near enough on the ball. But in the second half, attitudes changed. Dyer started taking one touch and moving it on rather than 5 touches and moving it on, and we were better in the second half.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, we're in a chase. We know Arsenal won. So, we got to go out there and get something. And it can't be just, it's Brentford. Brentford's been playing really well. Brentford's been on a tear. Our old buddy Eriksson has, inspired them. And, thank God he didn't score today. That would have been awful. But, so we couldn't I don't know if we just went in there thinking, we've been playing so well and it was just a fluke and we're just going to step on the field and it's just going to happen and let's just hope something happens. No, you got to make it happen. You got to go take it.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. And look, who do you put the blame on today? Players or Antonio Conte?
Players. Completely on the players. Absolutely. I mean, you have to go out there. You have to execute it. I mean, you can say what you want about formations, tactics. I mean, Conte's forgot more about football than we'll ever know. And, I mean, the guy's done it everywhere he's been. He's got them set up. Yeah. He's got given them the tools, but at the end of the day, you got to go out and execute it and you got to get the job done. And like I said, I don't know if we're overconfident now and just thinking we can just go out there and it's just going to happen. But it was that same from Nuno, just hoof it up there and hope somebody gets underneath it. Hope Kane gets under it. Hope Son gets on the end of it. Hope somebody messes up. And you can't do that. Can't leave it to chance.
Do you know what, Ross? I think the opposite. I think that rather than being overconfident, I think we've lost confidence because in the way they were playing today and against Brighton, they just looked like they were out of ideas. They were panicking a bit too much. The amount of times they panicked in the first half when they were making these pathetic clearances and things like that, misplacing passes. It's like they were scared to make any kind of mistake. And I think that's because their confidence is down so much so right now that they can't play their game. And it wasn't like Brentford stopped us playing our game. I think we stopped ourselves playing our own game today. Because I think if we played our game and brought our A game, I think it would have been a different result. I mean, do you not think that's the case, or do you think it's anything else that could have caused it today, the way we played? Or
no, you're right. I think it's some of that too. I mean, it's it may have started out as kind of a little bit of that, but then once the game came, they got into that "here we go again" mentality. And I mean, and how many times have we seen that over the years? Where it's like and I was thinking, okay, maybe we're finally getting out of this. We're finally getting confident. Those games. I mean. The 2 games where he scored 9 goals in two games. If you'd have told me that Harry Kane had scored none of those, I would not have believed you at all.
Yeah.
So it seemed like other guys were stepping up. But, all of a sudden it's like, oh, here we go again. It's Brighton game again. What do we do? Oh, okay. And then they're just making the simple errors, passing it out of bounds, going across the 18-yard box, just simple basic stuff that you're just like, come on, guys. I mean, it's just like the confidence just crumbled and it's infectious,
Do you think Matt Doherty, since he's been injured and he's been out of the team, do you think that's actually made a big difference in terms of the energy and the way we're playing, the confidence of the whole team?
Yeah. How many of us would have been saying that a few months ago?
Exactly.
I
Everyone
mean,
was calling him
that,
to go.
now it's like, Twilight Zone, but I agree. I mean, he really stepped up. He was the player that we thought we were getting when he came from Wolves, just bombing down there, getting into the box, getting into the dangerous areas. And yeah, I mean, we had that guy out the door months ago, and now he's missing. We all want him back. Can't they like shoot him up with morphine or something? Get him out there.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've lost a lot of energy with Matt Doherty, because when he started coming back into it against, I think it was the Leicester game, when we won that Leicester game, and he came on, I think in the second half it was, what I liked about him in this kind of like renaissance, if you like to call it, it's his energy, and he's like, he was kind of always fighting for everything. And you saw that when he made that block against Man City, he was like cheering like to himself. He was like,
oh yeah,
come on. It was like, it was so happy that he made that block. And I think that's the difference. And what we've also lost from him, because he's also built that kind of relationship with Kulu. And I think since Emerson's come in, I think it's also made Kulu worse, because he's been left kind of by himself, and he's got no support to like have these little give and goes, these little 1-2s, these little triangular plays that Tottenham players seem to have. Yep. And it's like completely gone now. It's like we haven't seen it at all since he's been out of the team. And I think it's impacted us a lot more than a lot of us thought it would.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. I mean, the wing backs are key to Conte's formation and tactics. They're the X factors, I say. So they go, so the team goes. So if they play like crap like they did today, then we're going to have trouble. We're going to struggle. And you're right about Kulu. He doesn't have that guy up there helping him out. You will see that a lot. Yeah, he and Matt doing that kind of interplay there.
Yeah.
And, we're just in big trouble, with the capital T, man. It's especially that position.
No, spot on. But look, what do you make of Conte's words in his post-match press conference? He says, despite the result today, we should be proud that we're still in the top 4 race.
Yeah, well, he's got to say that. I mean, he's got to say that. And I kind of agree with him a little bit. I mean, we're not helping ourselves at all, but he has to say that. And he's got to keep the spirits up. And, he knows, anything can happen, that's why they play the games,
Yeah. Yeah, but look, do you still think we can get top 4? Are you a hopeful, or for you is it done after today's draw?
I'm a pretty optimistic guy, but we're not helping ourselves at all. I can definitely say that. The quality of play is going to have to get better if we're going to have any shot. I don't think we're out, but like I said, but after today, we didn't lose. That's good. I mean, we took 8 points, but yeah, we got to do better. And but like I said, other than Liverpool, that I've got pretty much marked off as a loss, really. But maybe we can get something out of that. But the other teams we play, we can't beat them, but we can't do it playing like this.
Yeah,
not at all. Something's got to change.
What has to change for you? What is it that has to change?
What has to change? The effort. I mean, guys need to step up. They need to go after it, get after it, not just sit back and just kind of hope things happen. Get after it, make something happen. There's a saying, be a part of your team's solution. And that's something that these guys really need to take to heart, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. Well, look, Ross, thank you very much for coming on today, my man. Really do appreciate it. And hopefully we see more of you around here.
Sure, it's a good deal. Come on, you Spurs.
Great call, Ross.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Ross. Absolute great call there from Ross, guys. Everybody, give him a bit of love in the comments, everybody, please. We have a super chat here from Spurs Talk Show. He says, just got home, lads. Love you, Danny. Bad result, but a great day out.
It's brilliant, Sean. Shame we couldn't actually celebrate a goal in the studio today. It was a bit heart-wrenching. It kind of took our souls out when we were there. But yeah, it was good. It was a good day in terms of that. But obviously, Spurs like to ruin every good day that we like to have. So it's just Spurs, isn't it? It's what they do to us. They like to put us through the mud all the time. Give us hopes, drag us through the mud again. Give us hopes, drag us through the mud. So they're going to keep doing it to the rest of the season, aren't they? So I have to just hope that we can actually get some sort of luck from other teams. Because I was speaking to my dad today, and he was like, "It's in our hands, it's in our hands." But I said to him, "The thing is, it is in our hands. You're right, but we are Tottenham. We need all the help we can get. We can't do it by ourselves because our players are just not good enough. we're shit. So unless we get help from the other teams dropping points, I can't see us finishing top 4 right now. I just
Do you know what,
hope
Danny?
that,
I can't help but believe. Honestly, I look. I know no one wants to hear it today. I know it's not the result people wanted. But look, I've been saying this, the last couple of days. We have no right to be in this conversation whatsoever for Champions League football this season. And I still maintain that even after today's result. Look, I'm disappointed and as pissed off as everybody else. We still have no right to be in this conversation for top 4. So even after today, we still have to get behind the boys, still believe and still cheer them on to the end of the season. But big up, Sean. I hope you had a great day in the studio, my man. It's about time you got down there. Big up, brother. Big yourself up. But look, guys, do stay tuned because, we've got some heavy hitters coming on now. We've got KVP. We've got Mr. Daigle. We have Michael. We have Bruce, Barry, I don't know what you call him anymore, but Mr. Chefside Spurs. We've got Bob Spur TV, and we've got Jory there as well. So all the heavy hitters are coming up. But look, let's start with the first one. And it is KVP. KVP, how you keeping, my man?
Hello.
You're smiling after that. Are you happy with the result?
No.
how are you
Not
feeling,
really.
KVP? Tell us what you're feeling now about today's result.
Pissed off. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Shocking. Yeah. It's the same as last week. It's the same as last week. And why does Conte bring on the Sanchez, who's not good enough? Why did he bring him on? Didn't even bring on Bergwijn. I said it earlier, but it's the same old story.
Do you blame Conte today or the players, Kyle?
Well, I'm going to blame both. Should have started Bergwijn, I think. Kulu had a bad game, but I know he's starting ahead of Bergwijn. But maybe next week, start Bergwijn against Leicester because he did score 2 when he came on. I think it was January. But maybe start the hero from, the Leicester hero. Start Bergwijn instead of Kulu because, I'd start Stevie B. But shocking, pathetic today. Absolute shocking and pathetic.
What went wrong, Kyle? Just lack of energy, not quick enough on the ball, lack of creativity, no shots on target. Look, there's loads to pick from, but what for you was the trigger to us not winning this game today?
No shots on target is what went wrong. This is the third game we've not had a single shot on target since that defeat to Man United in October. That was the first game we had no shots on target. Then Brighton, now this. What is going on? For God's sake, Conte, just bring on Bergwijn from now on. Just bring on Stevie B. Seriously, what is going on with us?
I agree.
Yeah.
If we're gonna play Stevie B, would you take out Kulusevski then for the next game if Bergwijn starts, or would you take off someone else?
I think I'd take out Kulu just for the Leicester game, and then start I take Kulu out of the Leicester game, but start him for the remaining other games afterwards because he's been quite good, and everyone's been singing his song on TikTok and everything. It's on my Instagram story, and So I start Bergwijn against Leicester, but then start Kulu for the last remaining games. So next week Conte better start Bergwijn because we all know Kane loves the goal against Leicester, but today was just not our day. And I just want to say thanks to Ericsson for saying he's still a Spurs fan because he thinks we can still get top 4. So big up to Christian Eriksen. I thought it was brilliant today.
Do you think we can get top 4 though, Kyle? I know Ericsson does, but do you?
Hell yeah! I'm not giving that up. I will never give that up. But I know a few people like Mr. Box Office, Alex says we're not going to get it.
He's been saying it all season, hasn't he, KVP?
Yeah, Alex says we're not going to get it. I know Brian's probably going to say we're not, but I know Brian, you can hear me, pal. You can hear me, but but I believe we still can get it, but we play before the Filth play next week. We play at 2, they play at 4. So yeah,
We've got to win.
we need to win. If we win that game and we go above them, but if they beat, well, hopefully they'll lose to West Ham, and they've still got to play Newcastle though, right?
Yeah.
They've been on good form today, but Lauda. Hopefully they can still lose to Newcastle, but we need to win next week. Like, I'm not gonna sit down and watch. I might go to the pub and watch it, but
You're
next
better
week,
off.
yeah, start Bergwijn Conte, or else things are gonna go. It's just gonna happen again as it did under Nuno. Like, we won a good one when, a couple of weeks ago we won 4 out of 5, and now we lost one and drawn one. Like, Brentford are tough, let's be honest, but it's just not going our way. I want to win next week. Yeah.
We have to win next week. We have to win next week, or else the dream of Champions League football is over, Kyle.
Yeah.
So we do. But look, we have it there. We've heard it there from Kyle first. And Conte, if you're listening, start Bergwijn next week. Orders of KVP. But Kyle, I really appreciate you coming on, my man. And look, we'll let you go off and finish off that great Stella Artois that you into earlier.
And as always, Levy out. In Conte we trust. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Kyle.
Blind, you up next, Brian. You up next, Brian. Come on, you come, pal. Get your last one in now.
Do you know, I absolutely love the kid. He's such a character, KVP.
He's always makes you smile, wouldn't it, Dave? Always makes you smile.
Always makes me smile. Always makes me smile. But look, this guy, he must have the most overused fingers in the planet. He uses them for the leave you out message. And he did predict the draw coming into today's game. So let's bring him on and let's hear what he makes of today's game.
His fingers have got muscles all around them now, the amount of weights he's doing on his fingers.
So first of all, I don't know what the fuck you guys were looking at. Brilliant performance. Fantastic football. Brilliant. Brilliant. Fuck off. Anyone on here that thinks I'm negative or thinks I don't know what I'm talking about or I'm happy when we win, when we don't go and don't win, piss off right now because you're not going to like what I've got to say. Fast forward if you're watching this after. Fucking pathetic. And let's just go, woohoo! We've got a great stadium and a great training ground. Woo-hoo! Let's do this, boys. Come on, let's go. Let's break this fucking brilliant performance down.
The mic's over to you, Brian. The mic's over to you.
Where do you want to fucking go?
Where do you want to start? Where do you want to start?
Fucking Conte. Listen, he hasn't got the players that he can fucking trust. But fucking wake up. When you need to win, you do not need 2 defensive midfielders on that pitch. Bentancur and Højbjerg were fucking anonymous. Change it up. Change it up. We need to win to keep the pressure on Arsenal. But once again, no, we'll stick to this fucking 3-4-3 that doesn't work. But it doesn't work because we've got a fucking parasite that doesn't back it. Everyone that was saying January transfer window, fucking fantastic, fucking brilliant. Look at the 2. They're going to rejuvenate us. Yeah. Well done.
To be fair, they have been a massive part of why we're in the top
4. No, they have, but we needed more. We needed more. But once again, we don't. And why don't we? Because we're a fucking parasite.
What would you have done today then? Like, in terms of like the formation or players, what would you have done? I mean, we know that the formation kind of thing is. We all know that he's probably not going to change the formation because it's just he's fixated on keeping that formation because that's what he trusts. But if he was going to stick with that formation, who would you have changed today in terms of the players wise? Like who would you have changed?
Well, we'd have Conte playing instead of Emerson because he would have given us fucking more. That's for sure. Literally, I mean, Jesus Christ, this guy's got a shepherd's pie on his head. Looks like he's just come from a fucking restaurant, let alone a football pitch. Listen, he cannot play football. But he is not the only one today. He is not the only one. Like Ryan said, Ben Davies played well. Romero played well. The rest of them hang their head in fucking shame. Fucking shame. Once again, the pressure comes and we bottle it.
Yep.
And I said for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, draw, 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 draw.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian, what are you talking about? They'll be on the beach. They'll be celebrating. No, 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 we're the bigger team. Bring our A game. We didn't even bring our fucking Q game. We don't need two defensive midfielders when we need to win. There is nothing to help those forwards get on the ball. This is solely down to a parasite. And everyone that stands by and mocks me, mocks Graham, mocks Ryan, and all of my Levy out lot and people that say Levy out. But yeah, let's be happy with this. Once again, as I've been saying for 14 goddamn years, history repeats itself. A leopard doesn't change his spots. Ah, Brian, you don't know what you're talking about. Look at this. Look what we're going to do. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Brian, what do you think then? Like, from, because I agree with everything you say. You know me, Brian. You know I do. And what I couldn't understand today is why the fuck did he bring on Davinson Sanchez? What the fuck was that? Honestly, I couldn't work out. Me and Sean, we could not work out why he brought him on. Why don't you change the formation, bring on two attacking players, bring on Mora and Bergwijn, take off Emerson, which he did for Mora, but then bring on Bergwijn as well? Why would he bring on Sanchez? What was it? What do you think he was going through his head? Why he brought on Sanchez? Because I can't work it out.
Do you know what? First of all, I couldn't work it out, but then someone in the watch long you did, and by the way, you two did a fucking wicked job. Wicked job. There was not much to talk about, so you did a fucking great job. Someone said it, and I don't know if they're in the chat right now, but he clocked it. He probably brought him on because we needed height at set pieces, should they get it. That's the only thing I can actually think of, because if you'd brought on a Regulon or someone, the height and the power isn't there. That's the only reason I can think Sanchez came on.
So basically, you think going through his head was more like try not lose this game at least.
Yeah, exactly. Don't lose it. But listen, we this is a game we had to win. We had to win. Listen, Leicester at home next, which is not going to be an easy game. Is not going to be an easy game. And now all this pressure that we've put on ourselves, and we show we can't hack it. Well, now there's even more. Now there's even more pressure, and he's got no options to play what he's playing. He cannot trust the players he's got or the players on the bench. We've gone from scoring goals at will to 2 games in a row with no shots on target. But don't worry, top 4 is ours and it's a certainty. Woohoo! Let's do this. Let's do this.
So where do we go from here, though, Brian? I mean, what are the answers? What are the solutions?
Well, put it this way: if you're asking, the question is, are we making top 4? And I'm going to be brutally honest. Don't know, don't give a fuck. And the reason I don't give a fuck is because we get into the Champions League, we don't get backed. Do I want to hear Tottenham get battered everywhere they go in French, German, Spanish, Italian, Dutch? No, I fucking don't. No, I fucking don't.
Yeah.
What do I want to do? Get into the Champions League and get walloped? We can't beat Brentford away. But all of a sudden, we'll beat a Sevilla, we'll beat a Real Madrid, we'll beat a Bayern Munich. You really think we're going to get backed? The big summer? Of course it is. Of course. Everything's to be backed. We are in dire straits right now. Period. People have to wake up and realise this. Now, you may not be Levy out. Like, funnily enough, I am. People think I have an agenda. You're damn fucking right I do. And I will till the day I die or he fucks off. This continues year after year after year, and we have the same bullshit excuse. Don't worry, this summer is the summer. It's hard to get people in January. Don't worry, we have to focus on ourselves. Focus on ourselves. That's what you call focusing on ourselves. Joke. Joke. We are fucked. End of. We can't afford to drop a point. A single point. That means Liverpool, Leicester, the filth, Burnley, and Norwich. Not a single point can be dropped.
You're spot
you
on,
think
Brian.
We're gonna do that?
Everything. No, cool. I think we're going to drop more points. We're gonna probably lose to. Go on, Dave.
Just quickly, Faz Radfire at the super chat. He says, "I love you, Brian, but please calm down, man."
Yeah, no. Do you know what? I love Faz as well, but there's no more calming down. There's no more fucking calming down because I come on and I try to be calm, Brian, and I try to say what I say. Oh no, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh my God, Brian, you're so deluded. You're so happy when we draw, or when you're proven right. No, I'm not fucking happy.
The thing is, right, look, today is disappointing. 100%. It's a disappointing result. Nobody's happy. Do you think we're being a bit too reactionary to the result, though, Brian?
No, no. When we got into the challenge, David, you were right. We got into this fight. And stupidly enough, I believed it. I turned around and said, yeah, do you know what? I think we can make it. We're showing it. And the second I do it, what do you know? What do you know? And, mate, you cannot trust this team. The only thing you can trust is that they'll let you down. That's the only thing. And the only time this changes is once that fucking parasite gets out of the fucking club and we get someone in. And you know what? People say, oh, you don't know. The grass ain't always green on the other side. How can it be worse? We don't go another 21 years without a trophy. We don't lose players on contracts. We don't bring players in. But woohoo, let's have a hotel. Let's have a skywalk. Let's have 2 pitches. Let's have a goal line bar with beers that float from the top. Yes, that's what I can't wait to tell my kids and grandkids. I have my family tell me about the double. Glenn Hoddle, Steve Perryman, Alan Gilzine, Martin Chivers, Dave Mackay. What can I tell them? Javinho, Gilberto, Harry Winks, King Kyo Lee, or whatever his fucking name was. David Kerslake, Stuart Nethercott. I can't
Churches, mate. It's all about black churches.
Let's not forget that fucking world-class player.
But look, let's take it back to the game today. What do you make of Harry Kane's performance, Brian? Look, a lot of people are saying he was absolutely useful, or useless. Sorry, not useful. I wish he was useful today. You know, he was off the boil. He was piss poor, this, that, and the other. I mean, was Harry Kane poor today?
Listen, we can't get the ball to him. We have 2 defensive midfielders. We can't get the ball to him. I said to you on your show today, and I said last week, I think he's been told to stay forward because he's been getting huge whacks in midfield, and we cannot risk him getting injured. We cannot risk him getting injured. Listen, the whole Ben Davies and Romero, like I said, were the only 2 that can leave with any kind of. I mean, what was Hugo Lloris doing at one point, charging out?
Fucking idiot.
I mean, I don't understand. Now, people mock Ben Davies and whatever, and people will be the first to slate him and always cherry pick these players that are the Harry Winks, the Eric Dyers. Ben Davies deserves a lot of credit today, and Romero. That's it. That's it. The other 9 players, I mean, what can you say? Did not live up. And as I said to you on your show earlier, David, back in Peak Poch, you had a Vertonghen, a Toby, a Moussa Dembele, a Wanyama, a Kane, a Sut. There were so many players that you could rely on that if one had an off day, the others would be there. And the mentality that if things were going down, they'd grab you by the scruff of the neck and be like, this ain't acceptable. Let's do this. But where are they? They're all gone. They're all gone. We haven't replaced Mr. Dembele. Anyone that thinks Bentancur is anywhere near Dembele, you're having a bubble bath. You are absolutely having a bubble bath.
I agree with
We're
that.
going to replace. We could be replacing Christian Eriksen with Christian Eriksen. For the 3rd time, we could be replacing Gareth Bale with Gareth Bale. Great.
I think a lot of fans get over exaggerate with some of our players when they put in a good performance, because the problem is too many times, right? The fans don't look at the overall performance of a player across a season. They'll take moments of the season and be like, oh, he's so good because he's done so good in these games. But the problem is you have to analyze a player based on his whole performance, right? And as a whole, Bentancur has been better than what we have, but there is far better that we can get than him, because he's still not giving us everything we need to be a team challenging for the top 4. And the same can be said about Højbjerg, right? He's the same. Our wing backs are diabolical, but both sets of wing backs, right? They're just atrocious. So, I mean, Emerson, he is one of the worst footballers I have actually ever seen come through Spurs in the last 10 years at least, right? At least, because I mean, I've got other fans texting me saying this guy is a League One player. Like, honestly, if they can see it, right?
Don't take the piss out of League One players, Danny.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's worse than us. Today, his defensive positioning, his know-how. Oh, don't know where David's gone, but anyway, yeah, he's got to come back because I can't bring anyone else on. We got you, Dave. We got you, Dave. We got you.
All the League lovers' wildest dreams. What a shame.
Yeah, I mean, look, today was it was so poor. And again, Emerson, I think since we've lost Doherty, I think he's really affected the way the mentalities of the players as well and the energy, because he was one of the most energetic players we had. Like, if you looked at what Emerson was doing today, when did he get in the box, in the opposition box, like to attack? Not once, right? Sessegnon, I didn't see him in the box once, maybe once in the game, right? But every single time, what I saw is whenever the Son or Kulusevski had the ball, not once did they overlap them, right, to give them another option or get into the box so one of them could cross it in and give someone an option, right? We didn't have that at all today, Brian. And that is why I think that we're not going to get top 4 with the current players that we got, because they're just not good enough, right? And it says what it's about, what William Kelly's Oracle was saying, basically, how we're going to just miss out on top 4. I think that's going to be the case. I think we're just going to miss out because our players are just shit, right? And it's like we're not just having bad performances from like we said, 1 or 2 players. It seems to be the whole team. And rather than like you just said, how if maybe when we had Poch, right, and Moussa Dembele had an off game, at least the other players would pick up and step up, right? But now it's like it's the opposite. We have one player that has a good game, and the whole fucking team is shit. It's so like, what do we actually do now for the rest of the last 5 games?
What we've all got to remember is Emerson can't attack, but he was not bought to attack. Emerson needs to take a little bit of credit. Like, people need to ease off on him a little bit, because he wasn't that player. We didn't buy him to be that player. But because of our great parasite, he's being forced to play that position because we have no one else.
Yeah.
So where Emerson, and believe me, I'm one of the ones that will always say he doesn't belong in Tottenham Hotspur. We've got to stop thinking that he can get forward and attack, because he wasn't bought to do that. He cannot do that. You can't fault someone. I can't fly a plane, but if someone gives me a plane to fly, I can't be blamed for fucking crashing it, can I?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening with fucking Emerson.
So Daigle, do you think that's Conte's management of him? Because obviously we all know he's not good enough, right? So it's just one player. There's a lot of players who are not good enough, but he's one player again today was fucking awful. One of the worst on the pitch, in my opinion, if not the worst. And do you think that's Conte managing him to tell him to try and get up and try and cross the ball, because he obviously wants that wing back kind of formation and tactic to work, but if he can't work in that tactic, in that position, then why are you going to try and tell someone who can't do something to go and keep doing it, right? Because now, is that Conte's fault for his management of him, or is that the player's fault? Because the player's obviously not good enough. So if Conte is telling him to keep doing that, then that is his fault, and that's his bad management of the situation. Because if he can only do his defensive work, which even that he's fucking shit at, right? Then at least have him stay back and have another man there, so you can bring another player from defense. Like, I don't know, you bring like Ben Davies who can get forward further, or have like an inverted wing back where one of the wing backs is going all the way all the time and the other one doesn't, like Mourinho kind of was doing.
So first of all, this ain't Conte's fault and the player's fault, it's the parasite's fault, because once again, Conte is known for his creativity as fullbacks. We had a transfer window. And did we buy any fullbacks? No. Yeah. Why would we? We've got 2 left backs, a left back and a right back, that all of a sudden can play in this position. And we see from the stats he can't create. And by the way, all these concept kits that are coming out, this is my new concept kit for next season, because whenever we need to turn up, we go missing.
And look, Brian, I think we'll end it on that. We have more and more guests coming into the background. Great calling, my man, as usual. What do you have to say before we let you go?
Last words, Brian.
And as always, Levy the fucking parasite out.
Big up, Daigle.
Big up, Daigle.
What a call in from Daigle. What a call in. Very angry, very, very angry after today's performance, and rightly so. I mean, nobody can blame the guy. Nobody can blame him for being angry after that. I think we're all angry, to be honest. The man 97, he says, do Arsenal deserve top 4 more than Spurs?
No.
I don't think so.
I tell you, can I answer that, Dave? I think whoever finishes in 4th is the team that deserves it, regardless of who it is. Because at the end of the day, all those 3 teams challenging, now Man United are probably out of it now, right? All those teams challenging, they're all fucking shit. They all turn up to random games and they all go missing in random games. Every Arsenal, Tottenham, United, even West Ham, I know they were never really challenging, but let's chuck them in there just for argument's sake, right? whoever finishes fourth is the team that deserves it, because they're the team that won the games they should have won and got the points they should have got. And that's as simple as that. And if that is Arsenal, so be it. We haven't deserved it because they have got the points because they've won the games they should have won. And that's it. And that is the end of the argument, in my opinion.
Yeah. Big up the man 97. I'd agree with Danny. I think any team that finishes in it deserves it. Look, I'll be honest with you. I don't think Tottenham, Arsenal, or United, or any of the chasing pack actually deserve to get into the Champions League next season.
None of them.
None of us. But at the end of the day, look, I agree with Danny. Whoever someone's going to finish there, and whoever finishes there deserves it. Look, if Arsenal finished there, you probably would say they deserve it because they've come into the business end of the season. They picked up a result off Chelsea and
United,
Chelsea and Man United, where no one really expected them to. So, when the pressure came on, they delivered. So, I suppose if they do finish there, they deserve it, and that kills me to say it. Absolutely kills. It kills. I really don't want them to deserve it, though. I really don't. Faz Radfire says, for remaining matches, who can we use for Emerson?
Bergwijn, straight up. But I would give it to Bergwijn. I don't care about this bullshit about. Look, even if Bergwijn just stays up there, right? At least you're going to have Romero, and he can track back. He can. And I think he'd probably do a fucking better job than Emerson. The only thing is, he's decent in the air. Like, he does win headers in the air and things like that. That's about his only use that he has, right? And again, today he was winning a few in the air. But other than that, I would give it to Bergwijn, because if Conte wants to play this kind of attacking fullback system, then why not play someone who's better attacking than he is defensively, right? Because Emerson ain't got no fucking attacking game. He's fucking useless. So I would just give it to Bergwijn. I think he'll do a better job than Moura would, and he's strong as well, and he can hold off defenders. Why not? Just give it to him. Just let him. We've got nothing to lose right now, because the way we're playing, we're gonna lose more points. I don't know what you think, Dave. What do you think?
See, the thing is, my problem with putting a Lucas or Bergwijn there is defensively. They're just not defenders. They don't have defensive instincts whatsoever. But look, something has to give, because we can't have teams keep attacking that right-hand side every single game. We can't keep, when the ball's out on the right-hand side and it's at Emerson's feet, he's just misplacing passes. At one stage, Kulusevski was 5 yards away from him, and he couldn't even pass it to him.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there pulling my hair out. I'm like, the guy is 5 yards. If you got on your knees and blew the ball, it'd go to his bloody feet. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. I don't know, Danny. I don't know, because it's kind of like, again, it's a situation. You put Bergwijn in. He plays well for 89 minutes, but switches off and costs us a lot.
Yeah.
Who's to blame?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a catch-22 situation right now. We just gotta get to the end of the season. That's all. We just gotta get to the end.
I agree, but do you think it's Conte then that's not trusting? He trusts Emerson as a right wing back more than he would trust Bergwijn. Is that probably what it comes down to at the end of the day?
Look, at the end of the day, a lot bar the likes of Jurgen Klopp, I would say, and Pep Guardiola. Most managers are defensive first. They believe once you have your back line set up and you don't concede goals, you'll always have a chance of winning the game by taking one of your chances. And for me, Conte's of that ilk. He's defensive first. That's why the comments there today. We got to be proud that we're still, despite the result, we got to be proud that we're still in the top four. At the end of the day, he sets up to not lose games, and then hopefully you take your chances. We knew that. We've been playing counter-attacking football for how long? You know? True. So I don't know. We'll wait and see anyway. Look, something has to be done, to be honest with you. What I would probably do is find the fucker 2 weeks' wages and say, you're not getting your hair bleached anymore until you start performing, until you learn to pass the football. You have time to be in the barbers to get your hair bleached, but you can't do the basics of football. It winds me up. But big up, Faz. Really appreciate the support, my man. But look, let's keep going, because we do have hella guests, and I really do want to watch that Fury-White fight. So look, let's get on the next guest. We have Michael, my man, I was listening to you last week. You were on here last week, weren't you? I was listening to you last week, lad, and I really enjoyed what you had to say. So, break it down for me. Where did it go wrong today?
Yeah. So sorry for the jumping up, but I honestly wasn't expecting I will be next. Sorry.
Don't worry.
Yeah. So basically, guys, thankfully you started swearing today, so I know I can too. But
I haven't stopped.
I'm just fucking disappointed right now. Like, because I was semi watching this game because I had like this kind of like a little meetup with my friends today, and everything was going fine during that day, despite even though that Arsenal won today, and I was like, okay. I mean, they won, but we will probably do something today. I was hoping for a reaction, right? And I sat here with my friend watching this game, and he's a Real Madrid fan, right? And he was disappointed with this performance, and he doesn't give a fuck about us winning or losing, right? Of course, he wanted us to win because he's my friend and he wants my team to do well, right? But we just like during the 50th minute or something, we opened the Borussia Dortmund against Bayern Munich game on the second monitor and started watching that because that was far more like exciting to watch. Honestly, like I was just watching this performance, and you guys said that Davies and Romero did well today, and I don't think that Dyer did particularly bad today. Also, he wasn't great, but he did his job. We didn't concede goals, right? But everything else except that was fucking shit. Like seriously, because I feel like when the transfer window finished, guys on We Are Tottenham TV said that we are one injury away from collapsing, pretty much,
Yeah,
right?
I was
And
saying that as well.
we all were expecting that it will be Son who is injured, or Kane who is injured, or
Yeah.
whoever else, right? And who is injured right now? Doherty, and we are fucking shit without him. Like, let's be honest, because the way I look at it is that without him, Kulu doesn't work. Like
Yes, spot
his
on.
past two games that he played, he wasn't like himself. Pretty much, he wasn't what we used to see from him. Like he had a madly good start, right? He scored like 3 goals and 6 assists. That's pretty much unheard of. He was on the brink of breaking some records, right? For the like youngest player with 10 assists in 10 first games or something like this, right?
Spot on.
And so of course he raised a bar really high, and of course we as a fan base started expecting much from him. But you can't expect a kid who is 21, he plays on the right wing, and he has no fucking support. Like
No.
seriously, because when Doherty was playing there, they were doing like a lot of those 1-2s when they
1-2s,
were
yeah.
dodging the defenders, and one of them could actually cross the ball into the penalty box, right? But right now, Emerson is fucking non-existent there, and he is left alone, and he's just getting two-manned by the defenders, and he has nothing to do there, right?
Yep.
Because we have no outlet on the right side. Like Kane has no support in the middle. He doesn't have any balls, pretty much any pinpoint balls from on his head. So like, how the fuck is he supposed to score any goals, right? Then again, on the left side, neither Regi nor Sessegnon have been particularly good. They are better than Emerson, but like Regi isn't a left wing back. He's a left back, right? We bought him to be a left back. Same thing with Emerson. We bought him to be a right back in a back four. And in those roles, when they were playing in a back four with Mourinho or Nuno, they were performing well, right? But it's the same argument that you guys or Brian gave, that if I'm not a pilot, if you ask me to pilot a plane, then I would probably crash it, right? So I feel bad for them, but on the other hand, I have to be critical because you are a football player. You are getting paid like what, 80K a week, probably. Just do your fucking job. Like you have 4 months to, or Emerson even had more, and Regi had more to learn how to play this role. And I mean, guys, I don't want to brag, but I have a nice ping with my left foot, right? And if you just stopped time and replaced me with Regi, I could probably deliver a better ball than he does. Like seriously, or Emerson on the right side. Like, this system won't work if we have shitty wing backs. Just it's as simple as that. You look at Conte's team, Conte's Inter team, right? And he had Perisic on the left and Hakimi on the right, or no?
Yeah,
Who was
Hakimi
it?
on the right.
Yeah, Hakimi on the right. Those are pretty much world class players, and this system worked, and he fucking won the Serie A, right? as easy as that, because everything works when wing backs are good in this system. It's as simple as that. Because if you have really nice outlets on the wing back, it takes pressure off the center midfielders, because they don't have to be the creative force. They have to be defensive pivots. They have to provide security for the defensive line. And thus everything works, because you have crosses from the sides to the middle. And like, what else is there to say? The problem with our squad is that we have no way of changing the formation, because like, who are you going to put? Like, there is this argument with putting Bergwijn on left wing back and Lucas Moura on the right wing back. Like, do they the ball well? I'm not sure about that, because like, they are attackers. They dribble well. They have a nice shot on them, although with both it's kind of questionable how well do they do. But they ain't gonna cross the ball well. They can maybe cut inside and have a shot, but that should be Sonny's and Kulu's job.
Yeah.
So we have 4 players doing the same job there. So I don't think that this is the solution, putting them there. And we can't really go to a 3-5-2, because we don't have a center attacking midfielder. You can theorize if Kane could do well there, or if Kulu could do well there, or even if we put wings. He did well in when we played with 3 midfielders, right, against Liverpool, and I think against someone else when Conte was here. I think there were like 2 matches when he played in a 3 in the middle, and he did well then.
Yeah.
But there's 5 matches left till the end of the season. Are you seriously going to risk breaking the formation that
He's not going to do it.
have? Yeah, we have played this formation for past 15 or 20 matches.
Michael,
So sorry, I started talking.
No, I agree with everything you said.
I just want to add to it. Like, even if we switch to a back 4, we've seen last season under Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, no, fuck no, don't change to back
Ben
4,
Davies
please.
cannot play left-sided centre back in the left-sided of the centre back in the back 4. You cannot play back 4. The whole reason why we play a back 3 and we end up playing with wing backs is purely because Conte knows the holes from what happened last season. He knows Bayer can't play back 4. He knows Davies can't play back 4, and that's why we don't play it. Because if we do, you're going to see what we saw last season. We're just going to be ripped open straight through the middle without any answers. So it's kind of like he has to stick to this 3-4-3. It's the only formation that has been proven to get the results so far this season.
I agree. I completely agree. And I think what you were saying, Michael, was spot on about the wing backs, especially Doherty, right? And I think what I've noticed since he's not been in the team is that both the wing backs, whether it was Sessegnon today or Reguilon against Brighton and Emerson, they're not getting into the box. They're not getting forward. So what that's doing is so when Doherty was playing, he was playing these like little triangles, little intricate passes, these 1-2s with Kulu, which is giving him and also it's also giving the opposition more problems and more things to think about, because then you've got two wing backs coming into the box, which is then giving you more options and it's pulling away the defenders to try and stop them players, which is then allowing Kane, Son, Kulu, and whoever else to have more space to go and do what they can do. To try and score a goal. And I think since that, I think you can see so clearly how much it's affected us, because they're just not getting forward. They're not getting into the box. And like today, again, it was just every time those 3 players, the front 3 players had the ball in the opposition half when they were towards their box, there was like 2 or 3 players around each player. And you're right. They couldn't do anything because there was no Spurs players around them to like help and support them. And I think it's literally completely killed our creativity, and it's become like non-existent again. It's like watching Nuno ball all over again. And I think, like David said, we are in a catch-22 because he has to play that formation. Because if he does play the other formation, we're going to get ripped apart by everyone. Everyone's going to rip us apart. So by having this, and that's why he probably said what he said today, was saying it's good we got a point, basically, because he knows if he did play that formation, we probably would have got beaten. And at least we actually didn't lose today, even though we didn't deserve to get a point. We actually still didn't concede, which for him is a good thing, because we would have probably conceded. And that's where he's kind of thinking. He's trying to do the best he can with the shit that he's got, essentially.
Yeah, so like there's the Sanchez substitution today, for example, right?
Oh.
I like at first I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why is Sanchez even on the pitch, right? And then I heard I think it was Brian saying that one of the guys in the chat said that it's probably because Sanchez is just tall and he provides safety during the set pieces, and we gave so many set pieces today.
So
like
many.
seriously,
Yeah.
every time they crossed the ball, I was pretty much shitting myself, like
Same.
praying that we won't concede, and we actually almost conceded twice because there was like this crossbar hit and at the end of the game from the free kick, someone
Ivan
hit the
Toney.
post, right?
Yeah, Ivan Toney.
So let's be honest, we were lucky today because we didn't concede from the set pieces. And you know, I think that he just looked at how the game was going and was like, we aren't scoring today. Like everyone
Yeah.
shut the bed, and we have no creativity in the forward position. So just keep the draw. It's the same thing that he said after the Brighton game. You sometimes don't win games, so at least don't lose them, right? Because a point is a point. If we, for example, got 1 point, I know it doesn't really change the situation if we got a point with Brighton, but at least, you know, in a different part of the season, it probably would have mattered a lot, right? So as you guys said, I really don't want to see back four, at least not from the beginning of the game. Like maybe if it's like a 75th minute and we really need to like go forward and score something, then maybe we can go back to a back four, like we did during the Newcastle game. I think he switched
Yeah, it
one
was. He
defender.
switched to a back
Like
four.
yeah, but it was 4-1 then. So
Yeah,
you know, even if
exactly.
he conceded a goal, it wouldn't really matter. But you know, it's just like seriously, he has nothing. No, he has no creativity. I mean, he can't be creative with the formations because he just looks at this team. He sees 13 players that can play the ball. That's like highballing it because I think that several first teamers are quite shitty.
Yeah.
And you know, we really need some changes there. But he looks at this team, sees like 12 to 13 players that can play the game, and he says like, I have to play 3-4-3 because if I play a back four, Dyer will shit himself and probably
Yeah.
concede a goal because of that. If I play like three in the middle, Wings is fucking dog shit and he will, you know, provide nothing.
You might as
and
well not play him. Yeah.
yeah, you might as well field 10 players at that point. You know, he can't go with a front two because you are taking one of the three of the best players that we have on the pitch. So why the fuck would you do that? And you know, then again, you can kind of theorize if we can play one of those guys in the middle, but then you know, you play Kane as a cam and he gets fucking bodied by some center defensive midfielder and he's out for the rest of the season. So you know, it's really a dire situation in my opinion, and I'm really fucking worried right now because before those two games I was in the hype train, and I wasn't saying that it's done, it's secure, you know, Arsenal can fuck off and you know, go to South London and never appear in North London again, right? But you know, I'm just really worried right now because Arsenal today played really well. Like I watched them, and you know, they got gifted like one or two goals, but they took the chances, and you know,
Yeah,
they
they
created
did.
the chances. They were pressing high, and that's why defenders shut themselves, and you know, one of them scored the goal. That's as easy as that. And you know, if we play like that, and I really don't see us winning with Leicester. Maybe with like a lucky
Yeah.
goal, and I really don't see us doing anything against Liverpool. They will rip us apart, and like you know, those two matches for me looked as if, you know, we just went through the first half and expected opponents to just bend over and like let us like ram our dicks in. Like, sorry, I have no better words to describe that, because that's exactly what happened against Villa, Newcastle, and you know, Everton and all the other teams that we smashed recently, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I know I've talked a lot, and you guys have a lot of other colors to go through, so I probably just like
I just want to
finish.
ask you though. I do want to
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
you
yeah.
before you go, man. Do you think is top four over, or are we still in with a chance?
No, it's not over. Like I said plenty of times, I said that I will believe as long as it's possible, like until the last day of the season. And you
Yeah.
know, like with this team, you can't seriously predict shit, because like I wouldn't. On one hand, I wouldn't be surprised if we lost to Leicester and Liverpool. I wouldn't be surprised if we fucking won with them, and
Yeah.
then lost to Burnley and Norwich at the end of the
Yeah,
season.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
seriously,
Yeah,
like
yeah. That's
nothing
what could happen.
makes sense. Nothing makes any sense with this team. just a quick story. I promise, like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay.
My bro is a Chelsea supporter, right? But it's not that he loves the club or anything. He fell in love with players, like when Eden Hazard played,
Yeah.
and he really liked that whole generation of Chelsea players, and he really likes the players that are playing now, like Havertz, Werner, etc. But I watch a lot of Chelsea games. He watches a lot of Spurs games, and he said that he really sees something there. There is a potential. The project is exciting, and he watches a lot of games. But I told him, like, be careful, my bro. Like, seriously, you are gonna suffer supporting Spurs. Like, just be careful, because Chelsea is, we can all have our problems with Chelsea, right? But they are successful. They are run well. On some iffy money, but they were run well, and they were winning a lot of shit.
They
And
were
it was
ruthless, weren't they?
enjoyable. Yeah, ruthless, and they were enjoyable to watch. Like,
Mm.
that I watched the match against Real Madrid in the Champions League. It was bloody hell. They were brilliant. Like, I was sitting on the edge
they
here,
were.
and it was a really enjoyable match to watch. And like, speaking of, just because Brian was saying about like investment into the club, and how the things are run. Like, look at Leicester right now. They are in the semi-final of the Conference League, and I know it's a joke competition, but if they
You're in
win it, they have a fucking trophy. They won FA Cup last year, right?
Michael.
West Ham are in the semi-final of Europa League that we couldn't get to last year.
Can you imagine if they both win those trophies, and they both win a European trophy before we've won one? Could you imagine West Ham winning the Europa League? We wouldn't hear the end of it ever.
I can imagine this, because, like, what they have, who are they playing against? Frankfurt right now, right? Frankfurt, and then it's either Rangers or
Leipzig.
Leipzig, yeah.
Yeah.
They can easily beat both any of those teams, right? Leicester is playing against Roma. This will be a tough match, but then it's like Feyenoord and someone else. I'm not sure who. They can brush away those teams, and it's really disappointing if they win a trophy before us. And I'm a supporter for a really short period of time, like 4 years right now, or 3 years. And I didn't really have gripes with the ownership, because I didn't really know how it is in England. I'm not from England. I've never been to the Tottenham match. I've been to London once, but I wasn't a supporter back then. But now I'm seeing this, and it's just pathetic that this team, when I look at this team from like 16, 17, and the fact that they haven't won anything because they weren't supported from the top, even I'm starting to turn, because that's pathetic. Like, it's just getting pathetic that we can't win anything. Like, and I'm only supporting for 4 years, and I've seen us lose 2 or 3 finals, right? And it's just sad.
Count yourself lucky. There are people that have seen a lot more losses in finals than that, lads. So count yourself lucky. But look, Michael, we do have a couple more guests.
Yes, of course. Sorry, I said 30 seconds and I rambled
No,
for another 5.
Brilliant call, man. Brilliant call.
I actually listened to your call-ins, and I really
same.
So keep calling in, my man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
I agree with everything you said today. It was absolutely brilliant call, mate. Honestly.
Yeah, I know my English ain't perfect, but I'm trying to express myself.
Jeez, we understand you perfectly.
Completely.
But look,
okay.
Go and have a few beers, man. Relax.
Yeah, that's my fourth one today.
You might be another 4 by the end of the night, mate.
Yeah, I will probably be asleep by that time. But
see you again soon, man.
Yeah, see you guys.
Take care, Michael.
Everybody, give Michael a lot of love in the comments. Absolutely great calling. We are going to keep plowing on. We've got 3 guests left to go, and then we are going to end it there. And the next guest on is Bob Spur. Bob from Bob Spur TV. I mean, look, Bob, you were a bit like me coming into the game, very, very pumped, behind the boys and everything else. What went wrong?
Bob Chip.
But, hey, that Daigle geezer was a bit fucking negative, wasn't he? Bloody hell. No, I think we just need to put it into perspective. I've got the ring walk happening at the moment soon, so should be good. I think we need to put it into perspective. I said before, I was on your pre-match.
Yeah.
If we didn't win today, I'd be confident, but not as confident. We have to be realistic. We have to put a bit of realism to it all. But I'm just going to check. No, we're still in with the shout. Yeah, well, we're still in with a shout. Arsenal, yeah, from what I can see, they're not 16 points ahead of us.
Yeah.
We're still in with a shout. So until the fat lady sings, we're still in it. And if you listen, we're all. I'm Levy out. Danny knows I'm Levy. You know I'm Levy out. I've been at a protest, but I mean, fucking hell, that's an argument, and I know where Brian's come from. He's hardcore. He'll do it all year round, regardless where we are. We're going to be top of the league, and he'll still be Levy out, and I admire him for that. But right now, our focus should be on top four. Rightly so. We're in with a shout. When we beat Man City away from home, there's not a single Spurs fan who turned around and said, you know what, top four's back on. But since then, we won 7 out of 9 games. 7 out of 10 has now become 7 out of 11. But we're in with a fucking shout. We're not there. We got to top four with these average players. Let's be honest, we're expecting world-class performances from average players.
Yeah.
You know, let's be real about it. We've got world-class players there in Sonny Kane and possibly a Romero and a Lloris. But we're expecting everyone to go to that. I went really posh there. I sound like Rez. Expect everyone to go to that next level, which they have done. People talk about bottling and pressure. We had to beat Newcastle to get top four. We thrashed the arses off them. We had to beat Villa to stay top four. We thrashed them silly. We slapped them like whatever. So it's not about that. We just haven't turned up for the last 2 games. Has the pressure got to the players? I believe it has. But it's up to our average players who've become good and our world-class players to stand up and be counted. We're not out of it, man. If anything, we're one place closer. I know what you're going to say, Danny. It's in their hands.
Well, no, the question I was going to ask you is, do you actually believe that these average players who've gotten a bit better, are actually going to give us what we want to get to the top four? Because personally, right now, I don't think we will, because I can see the way they're playing. You can see how the formation is. There's the lack of confidence they've got. The type of plays even during the game, they're not there. Like I believe losing Doherty was. I said it as soon as he got injured. I said our season was done, and I lost my belief, because I said as soon as one player went out, even though I'm still going to have a little bit of belief because I'm a Tottenham fan, right? I want my team to finish top four, right? But my realistic head is like the way that we were playing. In that moment, everyone was playing with confidence. Everyone knew what they were doing, right? Everyone knew exactly what they're supposed to do, their positioning, the intricate plays that they had during the game. Now it's completely gone. It's like what they're doing is now everyone is just literally marking Kane, flooding Kane, and we're stopping completely every bit of creativity we had. And that's where I believe that. I'm not sure if we're going to actually pull it off. I don't think we are. But do you believe it? Do you actually?
I mean, it's a sad state of affairs that we're having to say that we're not performing to the level if we're losing Doherty. But you're right. I mean, I got pelters, man, when I gave Emerson a 4 or a 5 out of 10 against Newcastle when he scored, and I said he was twisted in and out. I've never rated Emerson right from the off. The guy, it's all, he's a right back. He's a right back. From what I can remember, and tell me if I'm wrong, a right back can fucking defend. He can't even defend, man. No, he gets twisted left, right, and centre by every player who comes up against. But you know what? He's the best we've got at the moment, and there is a bigger picture. Levy not investing right, and Enoch. That comes in the summer. He's not going to bring in a right back right now. Yeah, exactly. Right now, the positive energy, the mindset of we have to expect to get top four. I understand the last 2 performances don't help that mindset. If anything, it brings out the whole Spursy and the bottling. Yeah. But I never saw anyone saying Spursy or bottling it when we were thrashing teams left, right, and centre with these same players, apart from Doherty. So, man, you need to get some sort of perspective at times. And if we believe, I'm a firm believer. If you believe in something, anything is possible. I'll maybe vouch for that. And maybe I'll look at football a bit differently after certain things happen in my life. But I'm a firm believer in that, man. We have to believe. We're not fucking out of it. We've still got to beat them. We're still going to beat them. We are going to beat them. Anything can happen at Liverpool. We're all expecting a defeat. Hey, even if we lose. We don't know, man. We just don't know. We're only 2 points. 2 points. And if we hadn't been 4th, I guarantee you, we'd all be jizzing off saying, we're only 2 points behind Arsenal. Watch where you are. Look over
Yeah.
your shoulder. I
Yeah,
guarantee
you're
that.
right in that.
Because not a single person after we beat Man City away, when I sent the tweet out saying we should be expecting fourth, everyone was giving me shit. And those same people were coming back saying, you know what, Bob? You were right. You were right. We're fourth now. I believe Conte's going to do it. Conte's the best manager. Now suddenly, Conte's not the right manager. Conte's too negative. Fucking this, fucking that. We're not going to get fourth. Make up your mind. If you're going to say something, stick to it. Because I'm pretty sure the likes of myself, Danny, yourself, and Daigle, we're consistent. I believe we're going to get top four. And if anyone wants to fucking take it off us, come and try. We're going to get top four. We're going to get top four.
Exactly. Look, do you know what? I absolutely agree with Bob. I would tell you to take a stand up and a bow after that. That was absolutely amazing. I really did enjoy that speech there. And look, I echo that. I look at Leicester. I think the way they play plays into our hands. I look at Liverpool. Look, we went to Liverpool. We played a midfield three, and into the midfield, we had a Dele Alli who didn't give a shit.
I was in a coma, mate. I don't remember.
and Harry Winks forming a part of a three-man midfield. And we should have bet Liverpool on the day. We had some cracking chances. Look, this is not over by any stretch of imagination. No, look, I get it. The loss against Brighton fucking hurts. The result today against Brentford hurts. But it is not over, and now is not the time to be giving up whatsoever. And I agree with Bob. You know, when it comes to Daniel Levy, there's nothing we can do about it now. Let's get behind this team still and the boys. And look, if we don't get it, we don't get it. But you got to credit the boys and the Conte for giving it a bloody good go and even putting us in the conversation. So you do. But Bob, again, no shots on target. Yeah. How do we sort out this creativity issue against these teams? Because even after Leicester and Liverpool, we've got Burnley and we've got Brighton, or Burnley and Norwich, and they're going to have low block defenses and stuff like that. So how do we sort this out? If we can't get Kane into the game, we have to find another solution.
You have to, and that's Conte's. That's why Conte's being paid the big money, and that's why we all lauded Conte when we were going through this run as the best manager, a better manager than Poch, etc., etc. And suddenly 2 performances, it's all, listen, we've got average / shit players. But this manager has managed to get more out of them to get us within a shout. It's up to our world-class players. It's up to Sonny, Kane and Decky. We have to rely on them. There's nothing wrong with relying on our world-class players. They haven't showed up in the last 2 games. They need to show up. They've showed up before against the likes of Liverpool, from what I hear, against Man City, which was my first game out when I came out of a coma. That was the first game I saw, and I thought, "Fucking hell, man!" Kane's been possessed by someone. He's playing out of the world, because when I went in, when I was ill, he was nowhere. But it's all about us, man. It's all about us. It's all about Lloris continuing to make world-class saves. It's all about Romero, Dyer, and Davis to keep that solid foundation in at the back. It's up to Bentancur and Højbjerg to continue that partnership, and it's up to our front three to cause the damage that they've done previously. They've got to stand up, man. And if they don't stand up, we don't deserve fourth. We don't deserve fourth. And if there's any Spurs fan out there thinking, that's it, fucking all over, bullshit, that, whatever, and this is named at Daigle, he's coming on my show later, I'll say it to him. But if that's the case, don't watch Spurs for the rest of the season. Write off, see you later, and fuck off, and don't watch Spurs for the rest of the season. Just write off. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because I think what you need right now is positive energy. And if you're going to bring your negativity right now, then we don't need it. I'm going to be the biggest negative. I'm going to be up and walking by the time the summer comes. And Levy I'll be standing alongside my brother Daigle when it's coming to protests or whatever. We all want Levy out. Right now, we can't be doing with that shit. That's not reality. Nothing's going to fucking change right now. We need a positive mental energy from the fan base, just like Conte, and we need to immerse that into the club, and we need to expect to get top 4. Top 4 we'll get.
Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that, Bob. Anything else you want to talk about? You're on a roll. I don't even want to ask you guys.
No. I'll be honest with you. I prefer the boxing over you guys, so I'm going to be watching that. And big up to everyone. Big up the NHS. In the wall tonight, 10:30. We'll be reacting to the boxing, the matches, and doing thumbs up, thumb down. I am doing an NHS charity show later on in the month. I don't know when, but that'll be a 24-hour charity show, and I'm sure I'll be bringing out more information in due course. But big up, Danny. Wicked. It was like trying to choose between my favourite kids, because you were doing a watch along, so I was flicking in between. But I don't know who's my favourite. I suppose the one with less hair. So big up, Dave.
No, but you know what, Bob? I really appreciate you coming on and sharing that message. I do encourage everybody, do get over to the in the wall tonight, because it's going to be spicy. You know, you're going to have Bagel complete one end, Bob the other end, and God knows, probably Alex in between. So it's going to be it's going to be a cracker. I look forward to it. But look, Bob, thank you very much. And everybody, get over there, smash the subscribe on Bob's Bar TV. If anybody in this community deserves your support, it's this guy down here. He's been true to the deal.
Spot on.
So everybody, get over there and support the guy, and smash the subscribe, get the notification on for the In the Wall at 10:30. Big up, Bob.
Big up the NHS. Big up, I love you.
Big up, Bob.
Big up, man.
Love you, brother.
What an absolute call in there from Bob Spur. What a call.
His positivity is infectious, isn't it?
It is. Look, you need it. You know, especially after everyone giving out. I love the positivity here from Bob. But look, we're going to keep going on. And the next guest we have is Jory, the Jericho.
Jory.
Hey guys. Great job, by the way.
We're trying our best anyway. We're trying our best.
You're doing great, guys. I have quite a lot of points I want to get over, so I'll get right into it, right?
Yeah.
So David, you just quickly to get it out of the way. You know, I have to stand up for my man Lucas here, you know, because Lucas has had all of 10 minutes this year to play. You know, we cannot be spending any breath or time on blaming him or Bergwijn, for that matter, for any of this. We have to face the fact that, you know, it's the senior players, it's the players, the teams build around certain players, and if any player has to take responsibility, it's them. You know, it's Kane, it's Son, it's, you know, whoever, Højbjerg, whatever. These are the players that the team is built around. These are the players that need to pull it out when we need it. We can't be thinking that because Emerson is having a bad day, that's the difference. It doesn't matter if he's having his worst day or his best day. It's never gonna be the difference in our success or failure, you know. So,
but the point I make on that, Charlie, just quickly, the point I make on that is, look, every world-class player, every player that the team's built around, like i.e. Kane, Son, or whatever, they have an off day. But the difference at other clubs is when they do have an off day, they have players that come in and make an impact. Now, look, I'm not blaming Lucas Moore for what's going on whatsoever. I actually thought he was having a good campaign up until that Leicester game. But from that Leicester game,
he was
falling off and coming off the bench, he just has not done it for me. And it's just like...
No, but I agree, David. And I think Lucas has not found a role or a fit in Conte's system, you know. But we have to just... You know, we have to, because you also mentioned Champions League football, you know, Lucas was the man who has done more in that department than anybody else in the club. Of course, we know this is a legendary event. We wouldn't be fighting for top 4 if it wasn't for him keeping us in the fight when Nuno was around. That was Lucas turning up, you know, and doing his thing.
He was one of our best players, wasn't he?
Yeah. So we have to be careful there, but I agree with you completely, David, that Lucas has really no real role in Conte's system so far. But this is what I said on one of my previous calls, is that we can't afford to have these players just being redundant, you know, like they are too skillful compared to the rest of our squad to not find a role for them. We need to try and mold them into either, you know, I'm thinking more and more like 5 in the middle and having Lucas there with Bentancur and Højbjerg, and having Lucas as some kind of pressing / we know how many goals we scored from Lucas press, you know, so that could be some joy there as well, you know. But in general, I don't want to get into it because I want to say big up to Bob Spur. I completely echo his call. We don't need to get into the cellar for this one. This wasn't a good day today for sure, but we're in a little bit of trouble. And when it comes to this Spursy thing, it clearly is around still, and we really have to understand that Kane has a Spursy. He has it in him. We really understand. We need to admit this to us, and this is probably some of what we're seeing now. I don't want to say that it's definitely not Kane to blame. I'm not saying anything about Kane other than when Kane really switches it on. We have to remember Kane is the player that did what he did against Man City. Now that player, he can destroy all of the games that we've been struggling with now, So we have to remember that. But that player also, he needs the right tactic, So I'm if I want to talk about who needs tweaking here, it's Kane, Son, Kulu, and Conte needs definitely to step it up here. I saw one thing, and this is everybody is baffled by the Sanchez substitution. It's really quite simple, guys. What he did there was he took out Sessegnon, put Sanchez in the left back, centre back, and Davis went into the wing back role, and that's why he did it. And actually, I thought it was a pretty good move. You could argue that he should have done more in that period. I think so. Maybe he should have put another offensive player like Bergwijn in or something. But I understand what he did there, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see that setup going forward. And actually, I'm thinking, we maybe need to look at using Kulu on the other side, maybe, But in terms of Emerson, we also have to lay off him a little bit because he was brought in by Nuno because he was this typical Spanish fullback, tiki-taka, much lower intensity, quite skilled on the ball, quite finessed on the ball, rather, I would say. Now he's playing high intensity, like super aggressive running and all of that. And he's not good going forward. But what he is for good reason, the one that Conte trusts the most off the ball defensively, because off the ball defensively, he's the least liability on that side. So that we have to face that. It's not great news. I'm not saying I'm loving it, but that's why we're seeing him there, So Doherty was the upgrade. All of a sudden, he became the upgrade, but now he's out. So
Jory, I want to ask you. You spoke about Conte making maybe a tweak or whatever it is with Kane, Son, and Kulu. If you were Conte, what would you do? Because we do have to find these answers. We got to find them quick.
For sure. I would definitely look at. When I saw that substitution, like everybody else, I was kind of like a little bit baffled. Then I understood it right away. Oh, it's Davis going into the wing back, and I thought, Davis actually could probably do a pretty good role as a wing back, at least better than Sess was doing today. And then I thought, if we need to go into overloading the middle. We cannot keep going with a double pivot if this is what teams are going to do. It's clear that Kane and Son are going to get shut off, and Kulu. Of the front three are not going to get any service if we proceed with this double pivot, because now it's a proven recipe to stop us, So I think we definitely, and we need to make, like I've been advocating for it, to have the fluidity and be able to do it without subs, and then that means that Kane needs to drop into the middle, but that's a little bit of a problem now. So we maybe should be looking at Kulu dropping into the middle, because Kane doesn't get the room anymore. If he drops, then he gets 2 or 3 players on him right away. So maybe it should be, maybe there should be a double option there. Like Kane, if Kane is getting crowded out, Kulu needs to do that drop. And then then of course, we get a little bit short up top, and then it's a little bit then. But at least, if we can at least win one battle at a time, win that midfield battle is what we need now.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't think Brentford pressed us that badly. It wasn't the lack of room. Yes, Kane had the lack of room, but other than that, it wasn't. We had opportunity and time to do stuff, and I really have to say also, like speaking of Lucas, when he came on, actually he did do something. He did, through a press, get a really good free kick. And when we're playing a game like this, we do not go into some kind of silly, practiced routine, which we never pull off anyway. We never get these routines right. We shoot for the goal. Kulu has a great shot from that position. We go for the goal, and if it doesn't go in, maybe Kane gets the rebound. That's what we should be doing a lot more of. We have Bentancur, who is a great shot from distance.
Yeah.
We need to start shooting. I've been saying this for years, but we really need to be shooting from the outside when we're struggling like this, because we have players like Kane who can turn on a dime and react and put it in there, So yeah.
Is it an instruction for them not to be taking them shots?
Yeah, exactly. That's good. It's good that you say that, David, because I think that what we're seeing for Kane is actually diligence. We're actually selflessness. It's not a moping superstar or anything like that. It's actually because he's following Conte's instructions to a T, So he's he doesn't take it upon himself, which is done with other managers, simply just to find a way, anyway, to play it. He keeps discipline and keeps playing the position and the role that Conte has put him in. So then it goes over to Conte. Conte, now you need to have some more alternative for both your middle and the front three to work with, because this is too easy now to block us out. So I actually think, it is actually it's a good sign in that way that our team is really, really, really focused on following Conte's instruction.
Yeah.
It's a bad sign in the way that, and I also kind of feel like Conte is proving a point once again. He's kind of like, I don't have my wing back, so this is what you get. But I don't believe that Conte isn't more creative than this. I know that he can do better than this, but I think there's some doubt. I'm like hoping that we're not seeing this mentality doubt that is Conte. They know, or Kane knows Conte is leaving, and then Kane is leaving, and then it follows through, because we see it. So I see it so clearly when Kane's in a certain mode, Sonny gets very confused or insecure as well. It's kind of like they're almost joined at the hips when it comes to the feeling and reaction. So Jonas says hi, by the way. He's not happy with the game either. So
big up, Jonas.
Big up.
You play ball, Jerry?
Yeah. He is one of.
Can he play right wing back?
Where do you play?
Yeah, he is a winger. He's actually, he's gonna come and save our 2030 season. He's gonna be,
I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. Keep practicing though. Keep practicing.
Yeah. He practices all day, every day. So he's on a good roll, that guy. Yeah. But no, I just wanna echo what Bob called for. I think we have to be careful of a reactionary, because it's a super disappointing day. I'm not trying to make little of what people are feeling. It's a super disappointing day, but we're still very much in it. The pressure will at some point get to Arsenal as well. We just need to figure ourselves out and stop worrying about anybody else, and we'll get there then. But if we don't, then we see this cascade that we've experienced way too many times now. We just have to hope and pray that our squad and our club, most of all, understands that this is our lifeline out of this vicious circle that we've been in. Having Conte here and having his his mentality and his methods of working. And we should grab that lifeline. If we're not doing that, well, then, like you say, guys, what business do we have in Champions League or anything else for that matter, So,
I mean, look, if we don't finish there, look, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'd rather not finish there if we don't deserve to be there. Because if you can't play a ball against Brentford or Brighton, how do you expect to do it against the Milans of this world, Barcelona's, Madrid's, Dortmund's, Munich's? You know what I mean? They'll just pick you off like that and become embarrassing. We'll get thumped like we did on the Pochettino 7-2 that time by Bayern.
Exactly. The only difference here, I would say the only difference here, David, is that now we have Conte. And True. Conte won't be as nice as Pochettino if he's not going to get backed. He's going to run out the door and leave the stadium in flames as he goes out, and that's what I want as well, because then there won't be anything to hide of, and then us legacy fans might even start dwindling off slowly, and that's maybe what Levy wants. Really, I don't know.
Do you think he'll walk out the club if we don't get top four and leave? Because how I see it is that I don't think Levy's going to back him, and I think that's why he's waiting to see if they get top four or not. And if he doesn't, I don't think he's going to get the players that he wants in, and that will make him maybe decide that he doesn't want to be at the club because he can't.
Sorry.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, no, I think I don't think he will walk if we don't get top four. I think he'll walk if he doesn't get backed. I don't think he'll get backed as he demands unless we get top four. So it's a little bit of a roundabout. So the only way I can imagine Levy opening the purse and the degree that's needed is if we're in Champions League. Yeah. If he does that, then I think he'll stay. I think Kane will stay. And I've said it before. I said we will have a recipe. If Conte comes out of that satisfied, out of that summer satisfied, we will go into the next season with a recipe where we can win the title. Whether we'll win the title, I don't know. But Conte won't stay or be happy unless he feels he has a chance against Man City and Liverpool next season.
I agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree, Jory.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But look, Jory, absolutely brilliant phone call as always. I speak for everybody out here. We absolutely would love when you come on and look. Most weeks you calm me down. Some weeks you rile me up, but most weeks you calm me down.
I love everything you say. Always.
Thank you, guys.
Jory, I want to ask you. You before you go. Right? Do you think we can get top four this season?
Yes. I mean, I truly believe that it's like it's a cliche. It's in our hands and all of that. I truly believe that, Conte needs to do his tactics and the players need to shake this old Spursy feeling out of their system. And once they do that, we have a manager and players at a level that the only other teams can only dream of, and that will blow anything away, really, So yes, I truly believe it. But I mean, in terms of the evidence, it's all there. There's no excuses. Of course, we can get top four. As the point game is now, basically what we need to do, we need to get the job done and then completely batter them at the North London derby, and it's there, But if other things get in the way, if Levy is up to his old games and Conte is getting pissed and wants out, and Kane is reacting to that and so on, then it's back to what we've had too much of for 20 years, and Brian is completely right. I mean, you can always say that Brian is early and all of that, but Brian is pointing to what we're always really up against, But what I still want to believe now is that Conte and Kane and Son and these guys, they will get it over the line for this one. And then it's down to Levy. And if he fucks it up for all of us, well, there's absolutely no way to hide behind it. For me, bringing Pochettino back is not going to settle me or anything. You can forget about that. Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah. So we have, like I said, with Mourinho also, we have to rejoice in the fact that there's nowhere to hide but it's like to the factor of 10 when you're talking about Conte, you know. So I think either way, it's a win in the long term. But what we want to experience is good football and winning in the short term, of course, you know. So hopefully Levy has the dignity and the good sense to grab this lifeline that Conte has given us, you know. So
I hope so.
Spot on.
Yeah.
I hope so too.
He's got to. If not, this club is going backwards. It really is.
It's gonna be a reaction, like it's gonna be terrible, you know. And yeah,
Top
I
10
don't
club.
even wanna. I don't wanna think about it even. You
That's
know,
a discussion for another day, isn't it, Jerry?
Exactly. Yeah.
It is.
But
well, look, my man.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go on. No, sorry. Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, you know, great job, guys. By the way, I love this software. It's so much better than what Ben and Sim are using. So do an upgrade, Ben and Sim. You know, this is much better. But guys, thanks for the great content, and I'll speak to you soon, right?
We'll see you again soon,
Always a
Jerry.
pleasure,
Come on, you
man.
Spurs.
Always a pleasure, Jerry.
Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Jerry. Absolutely
Love
brilliant
Jerry,
phone
man.
call, guys. Everybody, give him a lot of love. Win, lose, doesn't matter. Jerry is here giving his thoughts, guys. So give him the love in the comments he deserves. But look, we're down to 2 guests. We'll let Rez sneak in at the very end. We will. But look,
who's the last 2 guests? Who's the last 2 guests?
We've got Barry and Rez, both from the same channel, aren't they? Anyway.
Can you bring them both in together? Do you want to bring it? It's up to you.
Well, it's up to them. It's their moment. We'll ask Barry. I'm sure. Yep, nodding his head. Rez, nod your head. No, he doesn't want to.
Piss off, Rez. I dominate it. No, it's not. I want Barry to be able to speak without me talking over him like I do every fucking week.
All right, Rez. Well, then shut the fuck up. Yeah, just let me speak.
I can't. I've got to talk over you. When you speak, I have to talk.
Listen, I know what you're going to say, Rez, because I've just seen some ridiculous comments in the comments from some deluded fans. Let's just say, look. For me, I'm with Bob Spur, right? Yeah. I think we go. Look,
Rez, shut up.
Yeah, Rez, shut up. Stop talking. I don't look. I think that. Oh, hello, Rez.
Bloody hell, Rez.
Bloody hell, Rez. Kick him out. Get rid of him. Disrupt my flow.
My agent, sorry.
Your agent? Yeah, right.
Go on, Barry.
But no, look, I think as everyone's entitled to their opinions, right? And I respect everyone's opinions, right? But we need to stop going from one end of the spectrum to the other, right? And I think Bob Spur's got it spot on. The people that are consistent, fine. But the moment that full-time whistle went, and I'm glad I'm not in all these WhatsApp groups and everything else. Everyone's just going in on everyone. Everyone's going in on the players. Everyone's going in on Conte. And it's just crazy. Yeah, Paul Pablo, I think you're deluded, mate. Yes, I do. I'm going to say it now, mate, for your comments about Levy and saying that he's not to blame, because he is to blame. And I'm sure Rez will come on to that. So I'll leave that. I'll park that for Rez because you were having that little ding-dong in the chat. So... My point is we just need to stop going, completely crazy and over the top. Matt, I said the other day that I reckon we get 12 points out of 18. Okay, so we can still lose to Liverpool, and we can still get, and if we win the others, we get 13 points. So that's more than what I still think it'll be less than 70 points for top 4. Look, Arsenal was shit the last 2 games. I'm not being funny. Yeah, everyone jizzing, and I could just imagine as soon as they won today, Arsenal Fan TV, all of them getting their dicks out and just jizzing everywhere over their performances the last 2 games. Honestly, right? Honestly, because they were like, "Oh my God,
I live just at the top
Spurs."
of Holloway Road. I live just at the top of Holloway Road, and there was a milky, sticky flood, sort of like going past my house.
But seriously, they'll be like, "Oh, look at Spurs. Spurs were 4th. They were talking this." Shut up, boys. You were gifted the result against Chelsea, who I still think was a corruption. That football's corrupt, and Chelsea gifted them those 4 goals. I'm not having any other reason for that. And today, why Ronaldo doesn't take that penalty is absolutely beyond me. This whole thing is set up because Sky want the North London derby to be between us and them. I'm sorry, the last two games just really cement what's going on. Why Ronaldo doesn't take that? If Ronaldo takes that penalty, he scores 100% after what's happened. He scores, goes 2-2, and that's a different game, right?
Yeah,
Arsenal, look, whatever happens with them happens with them. I've said it before. We need to focus on us, right? And we've had two poor performances. We can't change the players because they are the players, and we need to just get behind it. I know it's the typical thing to sit there and go, fucking hell, Spurs are shit, this was crap, blah, 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 blah. But it's not going to change anything. It's actually going to bring the mood down of everyone. Like, that's why I left all the groups, because I just see people going in on people that are like chatting with people. And then the next thing you know, you're going, you can fuck off, mate. No, you fuck off. You're a dick. You're this, you're that. And for what reason? Because we're wound up because of Spurs.
Yeah.
And I think what we need to do is, just like Bob Spurs said, focus on the next 5 games. Whatever happens at Liverpool is a free hit, yeah? It's like Man City. It's a free hit, that game. If we get something, even better. Leicester today was probably their game was even worse than ours. The Leicester Villa game was worse than ours. Newcastle are playing well, so that, you know, there's potential they're going to beat Arsenal. You know, Burnley are probably going to be there or thereabouts with Everton, so that's, you know, I'd prefer that, because they've got to come out and get something against us, not sit back and, you know, let us, you know, sit back and block and go for the draw and everything else. Norwich will be down, and it should be done by then. And look, nothing's given. Mathematically, you can sit there and say West Ham are still in it, Wolves are still in it, United are still in it. Everyone is still in it until that final day when it can't happen, right? And look, I know that you can sit there and say maybe I'm deluded and I think this is going to happen and this is crap and everything else. Look, but guys, we've this group of players, from where we were at the start of the season to where we are now, we would have taken this when Nuno went. We'd have gone. Would you like to be 2 points behind Arsenal with 5 games to go? And 100%, every single Spurs fan would say absolutely, I would like to do it. But because we've lost the last 2 games and we haven't played well, we're focusing on that. We're not focusing on where the hell, you know, where we were 10th or wherever we were and playing under Nuno. And I just think we just need to try and I know it's hard, right? And I know, look, we should have lost today. Yeah? Ivan Toney connects with that header rather than his shoulder, that first one, and that's a goal. And you know, again, they did a job on Kane because of the system, because of the way up. But that is not, you know, Conte can't do anything with the system and do anything with the players because we don't have them, right? And this is what Rez will come on to say. So that's all I wanted to say. Guys, you've done a fantastic job. I know the boxing's on. Danny and Sean, you did a great job in the studio. Cheers, you know, earlier on today. It was obviously a little bit different with having to come out and get home and do it on here rather than doing it in the studio. But guys, let's not go in on each other. Football's a funny game, and there's still 15 points up for grabs. If it's 15 points or it's 0 points, then hey, it is what it is. But I would much rather have taken this after what happened with Nuno at the start of the season. I think we just need to not get ahead of ourselves and think these players are amazing and we win 4 on the bounce and, oh my God, let's all start saying we're going to win the title next year or we're going to catch Chelsea or anything else. Let's just see what happens over the next 5 games. All we can do is get to the stadium, shout our lungs out, support the boys, and that's what we need to do. We need to get the stadium rocking because it hasn't been rocking, and we need to do our bit. If we do our bit, we need to trust that the players will do their bit. If they don't, and we don't get it, we don't get it, and then we can start talking about the transfer window. Then we can start talking about what we need to do or who we need to get rid of or anything else. And you know, all this, will Conte go? Will Kane go? Tottenham Hotspur will still be there if Conte's there, Kane's there, whatever, right? The club is still going to be there. Like I said the other day, in our jobs, if we go, the jobs will still be there. They're not going to sit there and go, oh, fucking hell, Rez is not here anymore. Let's just
Yeah.
fucking close the place down. You know, I mean, they might do because Rez is an intelligent guy, but you know, I probably chose the wrong person. But do you know what I mean? So Tottenham Hotspur will always be there. They will always disappoint us as long as Levy's there. And you know, we just need to just try and be positive. We've got 4 or 5 weeks left of the season. Let's just try and throw our all into it. And look, like people were saying, top 4, it's not done today. It's not going to be done next week. It's not going to be done after Liverpool. It'll be done when it's mathematically done. And I think it could go down to the final game, honestly, because the way that we've been, Arsenal have been, and United have been, no one wants it. No one wants it. So,
absolutely. Do you know what? I really love that.
I love that. Yeah.
And look, you know, for these remainder of the games, no matter what.
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
I don't know what that was, but
I've got 2 StreamYard windows because I've got another stream.
Piss off, Rez.
No worries, no worries.
Piss off, Rez.
I really do love that message, and I encourage everybody out there. Look, I mean, if you are arguing with people in the groups or whatever else, people are taking out on each other, it's not the other person's fault that you're arguing with. You know what I mean? So look, debate and have these conversations by all means. But let's learn to do it respectfully, especially when we lose.
I agree.
There's going to be more of this pain down the line, whether we like it or not. There's going to be more of this pain. And we can't keep taking out on each other after every single loss. And as well, the point about getting to the stadium, if you're there, sing your bloody heart out.
David, there is one thing I want to say. There is one thing I want to say to that, actually. You're absolutely right. And I agree with what Nick has said with regard to the sort of infighting that's happening.
Yeah.
But there is a key difference. And do you know what? And I'm not in the habit of naming names, but this Paulo Pablo is the perfect example. The Levy outers, such as myself, we oppose Levy. And we oppose Levy because we want the best for our club. They oppose us, fellow Spurs fans. That's the difference. Badly advised, Paulo, for 21 years. If he's been badly advised for 21 years, don't you think he would have realised by now? And if he hasn't realised, don't you think that speaks to his fucking competence? Okay? I don't attack other Spurs fans whenever I can. I sometimes lose my temper and I will have a go at someone. But generally, I look at them and I say, these people have something in common with me, right? I will argue with them, you know, but it's always done with a sense of love and fellowship with them, right? Yeah. And with regard, I mean, I couldn't get everyone's sort of bit on this family because of various things. I saw Brian's and I saw the end of Jory's, and I've also heard Nick. I'm sorry for the other guys that I've missed. I usually do tune in and watch, but Brian is bang on the money. The difference, the in terms of our direction of travel, I'm exactly the same as him. The only thing that I would say is there is one opportunity left for Levy, and it's this summer. Yeah. If he doesn't step up, if he doesn't change his thing, and I can perfectly understand, and 95% of me thinks that he won't, but there's always that tiny opportunity, that tiny chance, possible. But if he doesn't, there are no excuses left, right? But what you see with a number of these Levy inners is that they've started questioning Conte. Isn't that funny all of a sudden? And then all these rumors about Conte wanting to go to PSG. Yeah? All of these, the perfect little excuses that can be used to excuse another summer of failure. A 43rd transfer window of failure. 43 transfer windows it will be this summer. Yeah. At what point do you turn around and say, maybe he isn't badly advised. Maybe he's very, very well advised to do precisely what he's been doing for 21 years. And that this is the way that he operates. And that it is time for a change. And that it is time for him to be ousted. It is not right. He is either doing this deliberately, or he is doing it because he doesn't know any better. Either way, there is no excuse. He is either doing it deliberately, in which case he has absolutely no excuse, or he doesn't know what he's doing, in which case he's incompetent. Okay? And this idea that, who do we get if we get rid of Levy then? That's not our job. It's not our job to find a replacement. When Toshiba's CEO recently left, was it up to Toshiba customers to find the next CEO, or was it Toshiba's job? Okay? So stop with that bollocks as well. Okay? And let's also stop with this bollocks that Conte doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree
Conte
with that.
Yeah, I agree as
a
well.
mechanic that you've brought in to fix your car. Okay? It's not his fault if you don't give him the parts. Okay? If you say, no, I'm not going to get you the parts you need to fix the engine on this car, it's not his fault that the car doesn't go.
Yeah.
Okay?
What do you think, Rez? What do you think, Rez, about the actual? Sorry, no, I was going to ask about the game today. What do you think that we could have done to actually win the game rather than do what we did?
Nothing. Really, nothing significant. We could have changed formations. We could have changed personnel. We could have used all three of. I think we did use all three of ours. So we could use all three of our subs at halftime. I don't think it would have made a difference because again, what we saw was the Spurs disease, which is players crossing the white line and treating it like a Sunday league game, or worse, a kickabout.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, that is not something Conte can't kick the ball for them. They can't, right? And that's the problem. This is the problem. When you don't invest, we went however many weeks it was, the only Premier League club to go 2 transfer windows without a single signing back to back. That alone disqualifies Levy to be a chairman. Look at the mess we are in. Look at the state of our squad. You have to keep investing in players because you cannot stand still. You have to move. You know?
100%. And look, let me ask Barry as well. I mean, Barry, Nick, Bruce, whatever you call it nowadays. It'd be another name next week.
Ranjita.
But do you agree with Rez? Is there nothing else we could have done today, or do you think there could have been something done about it today?
What have we can't put Winks in? I mean, what? There's no one on the bench. We don't have the personnel. What are you going to do? Throw Harvey White in, and then everyone's going to turn on him and Scarlett and Lavernier and throw them in and go, oh fucking hell, those kids were shit, weren't they? What, when they've never played in the Premier League?
Barry, you're absolutely right. I just wanted to interject on one thing I forgot to mention. When he brought Sanchez on, after he brought Sanchez on, we had most of the ball. So this idea that he didn't have a plan B, whatever it was he thought of, it did in some sense work. Brentford were right camped in their half for most of that period after Sanchez came on. So again, don't talk to me about bollocks about Conte. Can't change things as well. Sorry, Barry, carry on.
Yeah, thanks, Rez.
Sorry, man. I told you, don't bring us on together. I always talk over him.
No, so look. This is the thing, right? So if they bought on White, Scarlett, whoever in, they would have been saying why is Conte playing the kids? So they'll call for Conte to change it. He'll change it, and then they're saying why is he doing it? So and that's what everyone said about Sanchez, right? Why is Sanchez coming on? Well, like Rez said, we had, I didn't think that it would make a difference because, again, I think the midfield was overrun, and I think we need to play 3. We need to play 3 in that midfield because everyone's worked it out. If I'd have to say that, if you look at the last 2 games in particular, Kulusevski and Bentancur has been, even poorer than the United game. So look, and I agree. We were all saying, oh yeah, they're great signings, and they strengthened the squad, but. Again, it's been found out. So it's, what could he do? There's nothing he could do. It's like the week, the week before, and when Winks came on, we all knew in the stadium that it's done. But look, I think we have to realise we've got what we've got, and even if it is Winks that plays next week, we're just going to have to get behind them. We all don't like it, but. We need to. This is the most important thing now. We need to get behind them. We need to get behind each other. People will always have the options of it's very easy to sit there and say we got a shiny stadium, shiny training ground. We have spent money on this and that, and it doesn't just come down to that. It comes down to how it's spent. So, you know, and last night, I think we were talking about it, and whatever people think, you know, we can go and get, and I, for one, don't want this last person, but we could go and get Bale, we can go and get Ericsson, we can go and get Tielemans for 25 million, add Dumfries and De Vrij there for another 45 million, and even Rudiger on a free, right? So I'm not saying that I want that last person, because I don't, because of everything that happened, but all of those players improve our squad 100%, right?
Wow.
So that's what we need to go into the summer, with the right recruitment, the right players. And if it is a player that, you know, Conte wants, and it is a player that's not going to get sell-on value that we will write off at the end of the contract, then so be it, if it's going to improve our squad. Not one for the future and all of this nonsense that we've had. So
right now, the financial implications of a player purchase for Spurs, or well, I can't say since Paratici's come in, we've got to wait and see. But up until last summer, certainly, the first consideration that Spurs made when it came to purchasing a player was the financial implications, always. And that was the only arbiter. There was never a case where the football potential or the football reasons were even a primary or even a secondary consideration. That is why we ended up with Ndombele. We bought Ndombele because everyone was talking about his potential. So £58 million spread over a 5-year contract was good business, because if he turned it on and he set the Premiership alight, he could be worth 100 million, 120 million, like Grealish. And they knew that. The same with Lo Celso. Yeah. The same with Romero, I would state. Okay. That's why we got him on a loan first before purchasing him. We have got to go from a club that looks at players and thinks of their financial implications as the primary arbiter, and start with football reasons being the primary arbiter, and then consider whether or not the finances can be done, and also to be more flexible and more willing to spend. Okay. And as Nick says, you know, at the end of the contract, if that's it, then that's it. Daniel Levy has got to realize, has got to come to the understanding that football, the footballing side of a football club, is a black hole into which money disappears.
Yeah.
You are not to go fishing in that black hole.
Yeah.
Okay. That is what we need to do.
Absolutely spot on. Absolutely. But guys, let me ask you some, maybe last question before we end off the fan show. And I will start with Barry. We'll get Rez's answer as well. Is top 4 over now, or do you still think we have a chance?
It's not over until it's over. It's not over until the fat lady sings. The points can be done. Look,
until Barry sings.
Sorry.
Until Barry sings.
Until Barry sings. Look, I'll sing when it's over, right? But look, there's plenty of twists and turns. If you look at it a week ago, Arsenal were in the mud. They lost 3 on the Chelsea and Man U. You know, everyone was thinking that's 5 losses in a row, and we had, you know, 1 foot sneaking in the door of, you know, dominance, if that makes sense, to ensure that we had it. Another week, you know, next week it could be the other way around, right? We go and win, they go and lose. So look, you know, or we both go and lose, and then United go on a run. You know, who knows what could happen, right? And it's until it's mathematically impossible, anything can happen. And this is football. And I said this before as well. This is football. You know, Greece winning the Euros, Leicester winning the Premier League. They're not just winning it. Yeah, okay, people haven't played how they should do, but they've still gone on and won it. You can sit there and say, oh well, Leicester won the league because no one else turned up. Well, okay, they didn't turn up, but so what? Leicester won it because they deserve to win it. And like you said, Dave, whoever gets top 4 deserves to get top 4. And if that's us, if that's Arsenal, if that's Man U, whoever it is, you know, people today writing off Man United. Don't write them off, because mathematically they can still get it. And you know, they're in more of a, you know, if you look at the 3 teams, and all of us don't want it, like I said. So who knows what? Until mathematically we cannot be in the top 4, then I'll still say that it's on, because that's what we need to try and believe in.
Our host has disappeared, and our co-host is concentrating on the boxing. Do you have a question for your guests?
Yeah. Would you like to piss off?
That's not a question. That's a statement.
I think the question was, Red, top 4, mate.
Yeah, it was top 4. Danny, you're supposed to be co-hosting, my lad. Supposed to be co-hosting. So, yeah.
I didn't even realize you went.
Been at this for 10 hours, lad, and I had to pop off for 1 second, and you couldn't even stay.
It's been a long day. It's been a long day. Danny has had that bun on his head all day, right? He needs to let it down and let it hang free.
He needs to do the old L'Oreal advert, you know?
Absolutely, because he's worth it, you know? Top 4, is it on? Yes. Even until it is mathematically impossible, I will say yes. Because one thing that, again, what you've touched on, Nick, is this idea of us constantly saying that Spurs will let us down, right? The reason that we follow the football club is that there is the hope that one day that doesn't happen. Otherwise, what's the point? Why do we pay the season tickets? Why do we go to the stadium? Why do we shout? If they're always going to let us down, and that is guaranteed cast iron 100% is going to happen every time, why even bother? Because you're never going to win anything. The reason we follow football is because of that hope, or the reason why we follow a particular team. Otherwise, we'd just watch any team that we think is going to win. You know, we'd switch allegiances every week.
And also, Rez, and also, like you say, I was talking to Sean on the way into the studio, and I said, you know, we were talking about what would you, you know, if you're a Villa fan, if you're a, you know, there's teams that finish like 10th to 14th and have nothing to play for every year. Would you rather be that, or would you rather have this roller coaster that you get with Tottenham every year, you know? Because it's not dull, is it?
Yeah. Roller coasters are fun. Yeah. That's what they were built for, to be fun, you know? So, ups and downs. Ups and downs.
For that reason, I will say that top 4 is on until such time as we cannot get enough points for it, because then it's just silly. Then you are deluding yourself. Yeah, you're 12 points behind with 2 games to play. Can you get top 4? Yes. No, obviously at that point, you say, well, no, obviously we can't. But until such time as it's done, I will believe, because that's what I have to do. This is where the irrationality of football comes in. You know, people call me I've been called a rational person or a reasoned person. Yeah,
Rez.
But there's an irrational side to it as well.
It's not an irrational. It's not being irrational. Rez, it's called being a Spurs fan, mate.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's about being
it's called being a Spurs fan.
Being a football fan, Danny. Every football fan has.
No, but we're different. We're a different breed to everyone else.
Yeah, we are.
We're a different club to everyone else. We're hated by everyone. We're the underdogs in everything.
True, maybe.
We go through the most pain and most highs out of any other club. Honestly, there's no one that goes through the highs and lows in one season than we do. Every season, literally every season. No one else. And that's why we love it.
But because of that, I will believe until such time. Even if, let's say, the worst happens, and you know we go to our next game, and somehow we're at the end of another battering, you know, like a battering that we haven't seen for ages. I'll still believe. It'll hurt. It will hurt like crazy if it doesn't happen, but I'll still believe.
Exactly. I have to. Everyone out there, you've got to believe between now and the end of the season. But look,
and beyond, David, and beyond. Yeah, well, next season you got to believe. The season
we'll wait and see what happens over the summer first. We'll wait and see what happens over the summer. I'm with you, Rez. I'm waiting for this summer to stay, you know, to see what happens. But everybody out there, a massive thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, look, myself and Danny entertained you for a couple of hours anyway. And a massive thank you to all the guests that have come on today over the course of the day, the pre-match build-up. Massive thank you to the boys for the watch-along and the post-match fan show. But look, from myself, from Danny, from Rez, and from, I don't even know what the guy's name is anymore, to be honest with you, Nick, you know, we'll see you all again very soon. Get over to Shelfside Spurs, smash that subscribe button. Actually, quickly, boys, how rude of me. What's coming up on your channel?
So the next Shelfside Spurs show offering is Bow and Owl doing Tottenham Tea and Toast on Monday morning. So we're right now we're sort of just wondering whether or not Alan's going to turn up, because we've done 3 shows. He's been at 2, so we don't know. Okay, this is part of the mystery. This is why you should tune in for Shelfside Spurs Show, because you never know what's going to happen. And then after that, on Thursday, is our big show. So that's kicking off at 7 p.m. That will have me. I'm entirely certain that LJ is going to get me to rant about something, and I'm already cooking up some lovely little things to rant about. And yeah, so if you come along and give us a like and a subscribe, you'll get to see the beautiful man to my immediate left and my ugly fizzog. Yeah, it'd be great to have you.
Yeah, and also next time when me and Rez do a watch along, please, if we're going to do a thing live on the show, let's get it so he has to do it on the show, because I wanted him to see him eat that hot chip live on the show. So,
but you know the thing. I'm glad it didn't happen, because I don't know if you guys are aware, but on the table for the watch-alongs, I mean, I know that Danny have experienced it. They've got that sort of nice sort of furry covering. And the amount of fluid that was coming out of my face after I ate that chip would have ruined that. So I'm glad it didn't happen, because I would have had to have paid for that afterwards.
And the table's not no sturdy to hold on to either. So if you had to hold on to anything, the whole thing would have absolutely capitulated for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, it's a good thing it didn't. Something less fluid based as a challenge would be acceptable. But yeah, something that doesn't have me streaming.
We are Tottenham TV Army. Whatever challenge you want to see Rez take on next, just put in the comments, put the pressure on, and we will make sure he gets it done. We'll make sure if he's anything hard.
My next game is the Liverpool game. So if you can think of a challenge, we'll look into that and see whether or not Sim and Ben, first of all, are happy for me to do that. Seeing as it's their channel.
They will.
I'm gonna be there next to you, Rez, laughing my head off, basically.
Exactly.
Well, if anybody knows anything a lot hotter than the chip that you ate, put it in the comments and let us know where we can get it. I definitely want to see it. But look,
before we go, also just a reminder: tomorrow on Tottenham on Tour, it's me, Brian Daigle, Sean Butler, and Alex Deluded Postman Davis is gonna be a good show on at 6:30 tomorrow. So I'm sure we're gonna have a lot to discuss, and a lot of fireworks going to happen tomorrow. So check out for that for anyone who's still watching. Please, it would be great to come see you guys.
Sainsbury's are currently doing a special on Butterkissed popcorn, so go grab it. It's going to be like that.
with Alex, you'd actually want to own a popcorn factory, to be honest with you. But look, I love Alex. He knows that.
I love him too.
Guys, we are going to end it there. Not the result we wanted, but we dust ourselves down, pick ourselves back up, and we go again next week. From all here at We Are Tottenham TV, we will see you all again tomorrow, Monday, and during the week. As always, come on, you Spurs. In Conte we trust.
In Conte we trust.
Come on, you Spurs.